engage my brain and filter.
Yeah, it's all like, hello. There you go.
Good evening.
Hello.
What a wanker.
I am. Yeah. I agree.
Oh, so yeah, I was watching a video today about I live in a fucking cardboard box, I really do. Have you ever heard of rubber duckies?
Of what?
Rubber duckies.
Well, in context, give me context.
USB pens called rubber duckies.
USB pens.
Yeah.
Called rubber duckies. No.
Oh, you don't, so I'm not the only one living in the box. That's all right. Basically, what it is, it's this ultimate hacking tool, and what people do is they leave them in car parks and on stairs, and people think, oh, what the hell? Oh, wow, USB pen. Plug it into the computer, and it's very, very clever because it can pretend to be anything. Like, for instance, a USB keyboard. So it bypasses any firewalls and protections you have on your computer, yeah?
Mm.
And it's able to destroy networks. It's able to reroute data, you name it. And
Wow.
what people do is they just leave them lying around. Just you go, oh,
Just seed them everywhere. Yeah.
That's
That's very smart. That's really clever.
and the guy who invented it, obviously he didn't use it, invent it to do that.
They never do.
Oh no, yeah, this is it. He said, he goes, "Look, there's tasks that I always have to perform when I turn the computer on. If I have this thing plugged in, it will do all the tasks that I have to do normally for me. You know, it'll start programs, it'll do anything you want, right? And it comes on the website. There's this engine, which is almost graphical, even. So somebody who doesn't really know anything about hacking can put together a specific program to work in a specific way, and put it in the computer, and off it goes. The interesting thing is, plug it into a Mac, it goes, oh, it's a Mac, cool, right, and it can do whatever you want it to do on the Mac. Take it out, put it into Windows 7. Yeah, it's Windows 7, you need this type of code, and it does the same task. Doesn't matter what you plug in there. And I didn't know about the existence of these bastards.
No, well, you're not alone there. I had no idea myself.
Well, this is about people. Isn't it funny? People take technologies that are common and do all sorts of stuff. It's someone that takes a bundle of different technologies that are commonly available and just goes, hang about a minute, if we do this, then that's a brilliant. I mean, I hate the buggers for doing it. And I hate the buggers that hack and do that stuff. But that's so smart to think of just putting it onto a USB pen, dropping them all over the place, and just waiting to see what comes up out of it.
What does it say about us or our society that people see a USB stick, which is a container, isn't it? It's a container of data, okay? And then they just think, oh yeah, free USB stick, I'll put it in my computer. Would you, if you were walking down the street and saw a can of baked beans or Campbell's soup, would you pick that? I mean, literally, you're walking down the middle of the street in central London, you see a can of soup on the floor. Would you pick it up, go home, stick it in a pan and eat it?
Oh, you know about that? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But if it's not opened, it's a can of soup.
But how do you know it's a can of soup?
Yeah, and how do you know it hasn't been opened previously? And,
I agree.
I mean...
Yeah, no, I agree.
You wouldn't do that with... All right, so maybe not a can of soup. Maybe it's... I don't know. It could be anything that's a container or something. But because it's data, we seem to be... Or in general, society seems to think, oh, well, there's no harm here.
But then rogue data can only be downloaded from the internet because that's the only place that hackers live, right? So if they're not looking Russian or Chinese or whatever other racist stereotype you want, and sitting in front of your computer plugging in a USB stick, or you're not downloading from somewhere that has someone going on the computers, then of course it's fine. People don't know. Why would they?
I know.
That's why hacking is so.
Well,
yeah, free USB sticks are great vectors. People go, oh, a free stick, I get to use it for my stuff. Oops.
Exactly. I can store another 3 files. I can store a whole audio. I can store an MP3 file.
Yeah.
Just think.
Yeah. Well, there was a very large company. Was a guy found one of these things in the car park. He brought it in, but he took it to the IT guys rather than plugging it into his computer because he could have completely destroyed the entire firm's network if he had plugged it in.
Well, yeah, I work in a big multinational corporation, and every quarter we have to do security awareness training. Just to tell us. I mean, Jesus, we work in the industry that protects computers, and yet we're still having to tell our employees to tick a box to say they've done this training. But yeah, it always says never put one of your USB sticks into a work computer without permission from a member of IT. Blah blah blah.
But to be fair,
What was the other thing the guy said?
we have very large clients from big global companies turn up, and they might turn up to do whatever with us, and they'll give us a stick or a drive or something.
Yeah.
Just stick it on there, and I'll say not until I've scanned it.
Yeah,
And I scan it on a separate computer, which is sandboxes it. They went, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, I'm not going to expose my system to risk. I don't know what's on there." Yeah, but we're the client. I don't care. I don't know where you've got this from. I don't know who else has had it.
To show you how clever it is, though, it does this thing where you plug it in, and it checks to see how much RAM's in the machine. It isolates a little bit of RAM and pretends to be the stick and shows it as blank. So you go, "Oh, it's empty. I can put files on it." And you put files on it, and they load to external USB drive J, and it's not. It's just writing it to RAM while this thing's getting on and doing all the shit it wants to do in the background.
Well,
the sad thing is people still push the notion that Macs don't get attacked very often and they're impervious. And they're actually typhoid Mary because most people don't run antivirus anymore or endpoint protection of any kind like CrowdStrike or something like that. So they're just open for all kinds of nonsense.
Well, the other aspect of that, Andy, is that, like for instance, when they say, "Oh no, Macs don't get hacked," they're too secure and stuff like that.
Exactly.
It's throwing down the gauntlet to
Well, sure.
hackers, going, "Oh yeah, you reckon? Right, check this out."
the thing is, Macs don't get hacked. They don't. The people that own Macs get hacked. The same as they do in PCs. It's us that gets hacked. We get conned into It's us that make it possible for people to hack. Not the machines are pretty good. We've got some of the best security software in the world. But if I make a mistake, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like that thing with banks and identities, isn't it? Where they go, "I'm sorry, but your identity has been stolen, and they've taken £3,000 from your account." And they go,
"Was that you?"
"No, they took my identity. They took your money."
Oh.
Like that. So a load of bank robbers burst in and go, "All right, get on the ground and go, give us all the money." You mean the identities? Fill the bag with the identities, not the money. For fuck's sake.
Well, that's the problem. It usually comes down to social engineering, not even the tools you have. It's just people being stupid or lazy or careless or whatever.
Yeah.
Or responding to those Facebook posts.
I
What was the first record you ever bought? What was this? What was that? Fucking hell.
I saw a lovely phrase which I've seen. I read. You can see I read a lot and do all sorts of things. And there's a phrase that was coined many years ago in sci-fi about civilization, an Earth-born civilization, humanity, as post-literate. That is to say, they had stopped reading books. All their knowledge was instantly available from AI networks and whatever. And so they didn't actually fight for the knowledge. They didn't actually spend time having to gain knowledge. It was just given to them. It just plugged straight into their heads. Yeah. And someone said this, I think I saw it earlier this week or maybe the end of last week, where someone said we're now in a post-literate society. And I think we're getting to that point where people, because knowledge is so easy to come by, no one bothers to check it or validate it. And that's a terrible thing to say. When I say no one, I'm lying through my teeth, of course. An awful lot of people do. But there are more and more people that do not check, as we know, the veracity of something. They don't check the sources. Because, hey, who's got time for that? But that's what knowledge is. It's working out whether something is or is not right, which is why the stick on the floor, the pen stick on the floor, pick it up and use it. That's why that works. The same thing.
Well, the average science denier doesn't know about peer review and rigorous analysis of data and experiments and stuff like that. They don't understand what science really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abe Lincoln did say that online. Yeah, he did. He did. Mm. Yeah.
I read somewhere Abe Lincoln broke the land speed record.
They also killed vampires too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
St. Paul invented the fillet of fish, and he still gets royalties from McDonald's. Yeah, yeah, it's true. It's really true.
And look
So
at all the
talk
flat
about
earthers that are still out there. You know, this is
Are we stepping on your toes for tomorrow, Rob? If we talk about the yet a second or third, no, the third release of the Mini Moog?
No, we treat it like a practice run.
Yeah, obviously we're going to talk about it.
So,
Everyone else seems to be talking about that and Trigon 6.
yeah, the Trigon 6.
Honestly, when I saw that, I thought, what, really, what? Nah.
It's a water planet in the Bendo sector.
Isn't Trigon a character in the DC universe or something? He is a comic book character somewhere.
Oh.
But no, yeah. In this case, it refers to the 3 VCO structure. But yeah, Mini Moog reissue. Looks very nice. And it's got a sprung pitch bend wheel at last.
And how much do we think that's going to be?
We know that it is going to be...
I think it's about 68, isn't it?
It's 6.2 in the US.
What?
And I think in the UK, it's about 5.5 or something. No, actually, is it the other way round? I can't remember. Let me just check. Because I did. Obviously, we've been writing about these all bloody week. Where are we? Here we go. Mini Moog.
Ain't no
Mini
RA
Moog.
boy.
So it's UK price. I say UK price. This is importing it from Thomann. It's 5.3, but yeah, I think US is 5.999 or around that. Euros is 5.999 as well. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
it ain't cheap, but it has a sprung pitch bend wheel.
Well, it does. It does.
And MIDI and a whole bunch of other stuff as well.
My wife loves Tiffany jewelry, and if I used to buy her some, and there came a point where I looked at a Tiffany ring, and it was going to be something like £7,000 for this ring for a diamond and platinum thing, or £7,000 or £8,000. I just went, no, fuck off. There's a very, very talented local jeweler who's stunningly good, and he made something that was better with a bigger diamond with some other little diamond bits and really nice. It just wonder, and it cost us about a third or less than a third of that, and it looks beautiful. So how much of this is paying just for the, and I kind of, here's the thing, I want Moog to do really well. I want them to do well, I really do. But I'm wondering if they're not just kind of, if there's not going to be a backlash to that, and people will say, I can go and get the Behringer, or I can go and get the.
But this is the thing. Those that can't afford it will go and get the Behringer, or they'll go and get, I don't know, a Matrix Brute or some other, powerful mono synth.
But will the Model D hold its price? If I buy one tomorrow, I mean, that's the, it's kind of, some of it
probably,
is about wanting,
because it is a genuine Moog Model D. I mean, Kent, you were saying earlier on today that the RAs are fetching twice that these days.
Easy, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's because they're
the original
RAs.
Yeah,
they sound totally different, and they'll sound different to what this Mini Moog would sound like.
And this Mini Moog will sound a little different
like a
to
Mini
the last
Moog.
one.
The late ones. The late ones, yeah.
But yeah, this is a what do they call it? I don't know. It's a showpiece. It's a very special.
It's
thing.
an aspirational, atavistic, or whatever it is product. Yeah.
The likes of us. It's not for us.
Nah, it's the transistor.
I'd love one.
I'd like one, but I'm not paying $6,000.
I'll tell you what. I think it would make the price of my one go down if I was to flog it. Now, I think it'll bring them nearer to the centre, shall we say.
Call me crazy, but I'd rather get a Voyager XL with the XY pad and the ribbon.
You're crazy.
And presets and memories.
You're crazy. You want a Voyager? What the hell's the matter with you?
I like the Voyager.
Why?
Tons of AI, tons of IO on it, and
I think Richard said in the chat earlier on.
Do you like the way they catch fire and break?
that I didn't know.
He said you can tell when Moog need a bit of cash because they'll reissue the Model D. And that could very well be true.
Yeah.
But we're living in a world now where components and all that are, they're costing a lot more money, and
They do.
everything's costing a lot more money. So
They're wondering why that settee was so lumpy.
yeah, found some more bits.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hi, Matt.
Good evening.
How are you?
Getting there.
Good man.
but apparently, for a little more than half of that, you can get the Trigon 6, which is a 3 oscillator.
It's not a memory Moog.
No, but it's
It's not a memory Moog.
but it's because it works. But no, I mean,
Keep
it's
you
got that
warm in the
nice
winter.
ladder filter on it, and yeah,
And how much is this Trigon 6?
about 3.5.
Okay.
That's pretty good, isn't it?
To be honest, I looked at it and thought, I mean, apart from when you see and hear that the package, but when I was telling Kent before we came in, we got the specs a couple of weeks ago, and I was looking through and thinking, why? Well, how's this different? And I couldn't see it. Now I see it and I've heard it. Yeah, all right. So that filter does sound very nice, but nah, I'll take the Prophet 5 all day long. But this, no.
But then I wondered that about the when the Novation Supernova came out and it had 3 oscillators. I was thinking, well, 3, do you really need that? 2's a lot. 3, it does make a difference. It really does.
Oh, yeah.
It really does. And that's a synth I still absolutely adore, the Supernova 2. I absolutely adore it. It's gritty and horrible, and there's all sorts of problems with it, but I love it. It's a wonderful thing.
But I've been playing with this MiniFreak now every day. I mean, I've literally rearranged my whole desk so it's right here in front of me because
And how are you finding it?
bloody amazing. It really is. I mean, all right. So once you get past the fact that it looks like a little bit toy-like, and toy-like, respect to Axel and his amazing design, because it is amazingly well designed. It has it's small and it kind of looks a little bit unfashionable, but oh my word, it's amazing. And I sat here programming patches last night, and it's so quick to come up with something that's so rewarding without having to really dig in. And then you think, now I've got that, and I've got all this other stuff that I can now start doing to it. The fact that you can modulate, you can mess around with the first oscillator using the second oscillator, because the second oscillator can act as a multi-mode filter. Which is just what? Yeah. And it's the filter on this is SEM-like. I don't know if there's an SEM chip in there, but it's an SEM type thing. So it's really nice, and it's just
Yeah.
it's so clever the way it just works. It's just
There was a lot of talk, wasn't there, when the Synclavier FM thing was announced, and lots of people were saying, well, why would you get that when you've got the Freak? Why would you do that when you've got the Freak? But again, it's almost, do you know, we're not almost, we're spoiled for choice now.
oh god, yeah.
We're really spoiled for choice. What unless you've got an unlimited budget, and even those with pretty much unlimited budgets are looking at it all just going, I'd need another 6 rooms full, and I'd never use them all. So how do you make that choice? And it's got to be about what works for the way you work. It's about your workflow and how you engage with stuff. I think Kent, and certainly for me, it's a very visual thing. You want to be able to see stuff as you're doing it almost. And for others, but I also like the menu system, the thing that's where you're kind of holding the whole patch in your head because you know what's going on. That's also kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it's different for all of us. So how the hell do you make your mind up? I love this new, the Wave 3. I'm loving where that's going.
Yes. Yeah,
but I'm still not sure I need to buy it rather than any number. The OB8, the sync clavier, the Hydra synth. I'm still, kind of waiting. Let's not go there with that.
Well, a lot of people were sort of looking at the MiniFreak and saying, "Oh, it's not a Hydrosynth, it's a Hydrosynth Explorer," and so yeah, it's not.
Oh?
So
yeah, so
I mean, it does.
How much is it?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean the Hydrosynth. I can't bloody say it. The Hydrosynth Explorer is actually cheaper, I think, than the MiniFreak by about £100, I think. But no, probably Aftertouch. But then the Hydrosynth doesn't have all of these modes, these oscillator modes that this has. It's a different beast. You're comparing, apples and oranges, really. Just because it's the same sort of size and the same size.
And that's possibly a firmware thing anyway, isn't it? The Hydrosynth probably could have these different oscillator modes.
Possibly, yeah. But I mean, well, they're both digital synths. The MiniFreak is a digital synth. It just has an analog filter in it. But the way it does what it does is quite unique, and that's what makes it stand out.
And it sounds like it's kind of become, for you, immediately gratifying and getting you into areas you hadn't played with before.
There's no manual for the MiniFreak at the moment, so it comes with a quick start card. This is the power switch, put your sockets in here, and that's it. There's no actual manual yet, and that's fine with me, because whenever I get anything that's new, I do not go anywhere near the manual, because I want to know if I can turn this thing on. Can I start getting something out of it that makes me want to play it?
Well, the MicroFreak manual wasn't great anyway, so
exactly. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever looked at the MicroFreak manual. It's just I don't need to. I can, I understand enough about synthesizers that I can just go into, to some of these things, and you instantly know your way around, and then you start discovering, a few little bits and bobs.
You understand synthesizers?
Well, I try to.
Blimey. Ken, we've got a competition, mate.
Nah. When you got patches that instantly sort of inspire you to start
singing "Hey You" right there.
It's just the macros and everything is just such. And then the next patch is. Yeah, it's just.
Have you got a patch yet called Hampton Bridge?
Hampton Bridge, yeah. There is a formant thing in here which I've not played around with yet. That looks quite nice. But it's one of those things that its sound is so much greater than you'd expect from a synth that size.
Yeah.
It sounds as big in many ways as, say, a Polybrute does, or
Do you think that we grew up as snobs, Rob and Matt and Andy and Kent? Do you think we grew up as snobs, expecting bigger is better? The larger the synth is, the more the more controls there are, and it's kind of like the CS80 is still hernia-inducingly big, but it's a we kind of grew up with that. So the tiny things, we kind of thought, well, it's just going to be a toy.
I think that applies to pretty much everything, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then
well, in the 80s, the K250 bigger was better.
To a point.
Yeah, there's also an element, I think, of because you start off when you're using, the lowest common denominators keyboard. You've got no money. You're trying to do the music you want to do, and you strive to get those bigger machines that you see on top of the pops, and it's like and the striving to get that. And so it's not so much snobbery as sort of like, you know, I did the time, you know, right, you know. I want the big. I've been wanting the big fucking expensive one because I went through it all. You had to be there, man. You weren't there, man. I'm telling you, that kind of thing, that element to it, you know.
You paid your dues.
Kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you listen to like Richard Hilton, going on about when he was using the sequencer in the Memory Moog, and having to shift the clicks so it was synchronized correctly and everything like that. And you're there going, dude, you know, anyone can just come along now with a £300 keyboard and go click. There you go, mate, done. You know? Whereas Richard cut his teeth on having to work with stuff that didn't really want to work.
Yeah, we were using SRCs and got, you know, the frame, whatever it was. Is it the SRC?
SRC, yeah, Friendship SRC.
Friendship, that's it. Friendship SRCs and God knows what else to just try and get everything to sit comfortably. And you'd have to, you know, do we use MIDI song start or MIDI clock or what? You know, what do we use to get everything fitting?
Yeah.
And then you were dealing with the delay you had from MIDI. So with certain devices, certainly with samplers, you'd end up with that terrible stereo sort of cancellation because it wasn't working fast enough and the MIDI delay was such that everything was just slightly late and horrible.
Yeah.
So you had to sort of move everything around.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was all fun.
Maybe in some sort of subversive kind of way that, you know, you buy a keyboard now and it does everything perfectly straight out of the box. You just have to push a couple of buttons and go, oh, this is too easy. I've lost interest in it. I want it to give me pain. I want bleeding fingers from it, please.
But the lessons here's the thing, those issues that we faced in the early days, you know, with trying to synchronize stuff with synths and trying to get it all clocked and run together and everything. All of those issues were limitations that meant we had barriers, we had boxes with, you know, once we'd gone down a certain path, we'd made creative decisions and we were kind of stuck with it. That was hugely creative because you had to get really inventive, right? And that really was, you know, that was why there was such a flowering through the late 70s through the 80s, because everyone was having those struggles and they were kind of constrained by what they could afford and how they could make it work, and those constraints were creatively really brilliant. I think where we are at the moment, because anything's possible, and so it doesn't really limit you. You know, it's like we've had this conversation before, haven't we, guys? Well, I said about my dad who had a chisel. When I moved into this place, this door here, I bought a brand new set of chisels from one or the other things, and I'm trying to get the door to sit and, you know, chiseling it out and doing this stuff, and it was screwing it up and I was getting everything wrong. and I just sort of threw everything down in disgust, and then I found my dad's old tool chest, which was rusty and shitty, and I found this old chisel in there with the wooden handle that was knackered and curved in where he'd been holding it for so long, and the blade was a bit chipped, and I used that. I just thought I'd try it because I was so pissed off, and immediately it felt comfortable and it carved the perfect thing I needed. It's like it belonged there, right? And it's just a shitty old 70-year-old chisel. And it's kind of like that those limitations, you know, having the newest and the best and the greatest, having all those choices is sometimes stymies creativity because you don't have to work hard for it.
Yeah. Or you're just overwhelmed by the amount of stuff at your fingertips.
Yeah.
And
you
know,
have too many things to choose from. You then get choice paralysis, don't you? You know,
it's kiddie in a sweet shop is like,
what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah.
Richard said he's back to the Mirage hexadecimal. I remember I used to think hexadecimal. I really did. Yeah. There is something about that, you know, having those limitations.
I need to drop Chris McLeod a line because he was saying the other week about, you know, programming KX88s in hex, and he didn't give me a few lessons because I ain't got the big clue. Not that I really need it, but I just thought, I mean, it might just be nice to know, to have in there.
I remember one of the nicest discoveries with the DXs, particularly in the DX5, was that the program changes on it are really snappy.
Yes.
So you could program a sequence where every note had a different. So you change the program, so you'd have a different sound. So you could end up with these really weird, almost like wavetables. So every note was a different sound, but it sounded amazing.
Yeah,
it sounded amazing, and you kind of why would you do that now? Why would you do that? You wouldn't be switching between different.
You
programs.
say that, like the UnoSynth Pro, even the original UnoSynth, you could sequence the parameters so that every sound that was being played in that 16-step sequence was a completely different version of that sound. So you could have open filter, closed filter, blah, blah, blah. And so you lock all these parameters into each step. So you're effectively getting a different patch every time you go through each step, which is, and you can get some, especially with, drum type sounds, you can take one sort of analog percussive type sound and make a kick and a snare and a tom and a hi-hat, and then just program those sound settings into the appropriate steps in the sequencer, and away you go.
But I remember doing that, I think, back at sort of 1989 or something like that. Do you remember Blue Weaver had his, was it the Dr. T thing he did, the patch editor or librarian for DXs and things, or for D50s? That was really snapping. You could randomize it, and there was a way of doing it so you could have it so that every single note in a sequence, you fired off a random something from the Dr. T and it would generate a new patch. And so you didn't know what was coming up. and sometimes it was awful, and at other times it was just beautiful, creative genius wonderfulness.
Yeah, Dr. T's XOR was a cool program.
It was, yeah.
Talking of beautiful creative geniuses.
Hi, Robert.
Hello. How are we all tonight?
All
Very
good.
Thanks.
And how are you down there, darling?
Fuck you!
And you! Straight back at you, you fat cunt.
Captain Bridge.
I can see that.
What a wanker. Never has it been more appropriate.
How'd you
Okay,
get on
Ty, the
today?
elephant in the room. Do you have the TE dolls or not?
Of course I fucking don't. There's a bone of contention here I need to pick with you. Fucking Robbie cunt features.
What? What did I say? No, come on, I've had enough this week.
Ty's got a boner. Is that what I heard? Ty's, you've got a boner, Ty.
That was just... I've always got a boner when you're around. No, it's the fact that on the show you turn around and talking about those fucking dolls, and basically the sentiment was, I mean, who would buy these? And you turn around and went, Tottenham. And then turn around and go, and then of course everyone's going, yeah, he's probably got the full set ordered. I fuck.
Well, to be fair, after Heimbach did it, it was just like,
Look.
may as well other people.
No, do you know what? Honestly, I think they're cool things. I think they are cool things. No. I think the sentiment, which was basically, you're going to order them, you're going to take them out the box, you're going to play with it for literally 5 minutes. They're going to go back in the box. You're never going to look at them again. That's if you're bothered about just collecting, then I can understand why some idiots would buy them. But I mean, for fuck's sake,
Well, you have to lube them up and try them out first, But.
God, have you seen the shape of some of them? No.
Yeah, easier than a Volca.
I was going to say that's a specialist market there. Believe me. But no, I mean that kind of money. 50 quid a pop. You're sitting there going, yeah, I'll do that. I mean, 250 quid each. Forget it.
Are you talking about the inflatable ones or the? Oh no, you're not. No, never mind. Never mind.
Although I have ordered, obviously, because everyone in the world has, obviously. Oh, is it not? Oh, okay, it's just me then.
Yeah, just you.
So yeah, I've ordered the Omega.
Oh yes.
The keyboard version that might come with a polyafter, or probably comes
It
with
does
a
come. I
polyafter.
got the email through. It does come with
The official
polyafter touch.
tablet.
They've got the 200%. So
Yeah,
it's coming
this
with the
afternoon
polyafter
there were
touch.
2 people short of getting the polyafter touch, so
Yeah,
I'm sure that's
so polyafter touch is there, but it looks great. It does. It looks brilliant. So
They make great stuff already, so this should be good.
do you know what?
It's not an awful price at all, is it?
I think it's really reasonable, especially because I managed to get. When they're counting down to how many's left. the original one, the 40% off. I was the last one to get the 40% off because I ordered it, and then straight after it sold out. So yeah, I got the last of the 40%. So bargain price. Well, not bargain. It's all relative, but it was good price. So
well, when you consider the price of what came out today, it's a good price.
Well,
no, but like if you consider that €900 for 16 boys, now also VA and all the other VA physical modeling and other stuff that's in there, but it's definitely a bargain.
Yeah, I think it's good, and exactly as Robbie said, especially compared to. I mean, I was really lucky. I got one of the Model Ds from the 2016 batch, and I paid $3,000 for it, and now it's suddenly shot up by 2,000 and whatever for. Although you do get a spring-loaded mod with,
exactly
so
I'm
thinking of getting another one.
How the hell did people survive for 50 years?
Yeah, I know. Not modular
like it's center detented, and particularly the later ones are really have really a big center detent, so it's not too hard to get it back. I mean, the early ones where it's a bit.
The problem is, I'm not being sorry. I can't get comfortable tonight. It's I think the problem
those up your ass.
Is that yeah.
Lay on your side. Lay on your side. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Take the walkers away.
Where was I? Where was I before I was so rude?
You were just sitting over on the other cushion. Yeah.
The problem is part of the thing that made the Mini Moog the Mini Boog was the fact that it didn't have a center, kind of dented. And that's what made it different because everything else did. And now all they've done is basically make it like everything else. So, but there we go.
I mean, it's not like it's. I mean, clearly they just buy one of the standard mechanisms, and then you just cut through the springs if you don't want it to center detent.
Yeah.
Must have a hell of a dead point on it.
I remember I was asked to do a lecture for a uni, and I did the whole talk I did earlier about I can look at a Mini Moog and I can tell you what sound it is without having to play it. I can see what the sound is, right? I did that whole speech, and I'm thinking everyone's going to think I'm a god because I can say this is a bit of string or a flute or something like that. Wow, marvelous. And I've quite forgotten because it had been many years. It had been about 8 or 9 years since I'd touched a Mini Moog, and I'd completely forgotten that the pitch bend. It doesn't have a spring. And so it's all out. It was just the whole thing just sounded awful. I'm looking at it going, what the fuck are these people are looking at me going? Why doesn't it sound like you say?
Were you not a god at that moment? Were you not the god you anticipated you were going to be?
I was the twat I knew I was.
Yeah,
I was.
I was going to say, well,
then I moved things down, and then they said, "Oh, that's what it sounds like." And there was a bit, yeah. Pride before a fall. Pride before a fall. Always.
Are we all well? I'm sorry. What have I missed? I'm dipping in, and then covering off again.
Oh well.
Are we all well?
Not long started.
There you go. Come on.
Have you not?
Oh. I've been a brave little soldier.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw this thing. What the fuck have you done?
Well, obviously it was a terrible. It's multiple fractures. It's my hip right the way down through to my toe bone has smashed. And
yeah, as I said, what have you done?
I've got a tiny sprain.
Okay. How did you do that? Did you stumble over slightly?
I dropped a sofa on my ankle. I'm a twat.
Oh, you dropped a sofa on it? Okay.
Yeah, we're revamping the studio at the moment, the studios, and we were moving a sofa, and I just didn't get out of the way in time, and it went straight through my ankle.
Ooh.
And so
now his hip has a center detent on it, so
it's... Your ankle will never be out of tune again.
No. But I've been stoic about it. I've not told anyone about it.
I've not mentioned it. Yeah.
No,
that's the first I've heard about it. He says ignoring every fucking Facebook for the last fucking 48 hours.
Troll foot, yeah.
Exactly. You got your own Instagram account.
Yeah. I don't know about any of the rest of it. Has anyone else had anything happen?
Frodo called. He wants his foot back.
I stabbed myself in the hand. today.
How
Again,
did you do that, Ken?
I was trying to.
Which vehicle you tried to assault this time?
It was a CS80, and I was trying to get one of the plates to hold the ribbon controllers on, and I'm holding the thingy and going, come on, and he went like that, and I just blood everywhere. So, ow.
Man, you had to clean the blood out of the CS80. How terrible.
Nah, fuck it, and stay in there.
I
Wh-
cut
wh-
myself
where you-
doing something on a Fairlight. You don't want to cut yourself on a white synthesizer because that does take a while to get out.
Yeah,
or a brown one, a sort of light brown sampler.
Or like brown, yes. Yeah.
yeah. No, I've done 2 CS80s today, so I'm a good boy.
Am I the only one that hasn't actually injured himself at all today? I
don't
Night
know
is young.
yet.
I'm good.
Well done. Well done.
Stay
Matt.
there, nobody move.
Good. I've just realised. I didn't see you guys last week, did I?
No,
No.
Yeah, missed you. Missed you all.
We didn't.
I went to bed.
Richard says we're like the walking wounded chat room.
No, it's the age, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the age.
But I'm the only one that's really brave, to be honest, you know.
Well, it won't be long before one of us is going to be saying, "I've had a fall."
I'll give you a chat with my missus.
Oh yeah.
Fucking hell. Oh my God, that was scary.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
bet.
bet.
She right now?
She's fine now, yeah. Yeah.
So what have I missed there, Matt? Because
Thought my missus was having a heart attack on Friday night.
fuck.
Oh shit,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, she's 41 and heart and arm and jaw and grey and everything. Angina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First
Angina's, but angina's shit in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was an interesting weekend.
Wow.
But she's
Sorry to
all right
hear
now. She's doing all right now.
Just keep on the medication.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. But the doctor's system down here isn't great, so it's been a bit of a fight this week to get that. But yeah, she's doing all right. So yeah.
What
Anyway.
about you, Rob? Robert, have you managed to injure yourself, or attempted
Not-
anything major? You know,
Not lately.
with a
No.
knife. Or...
No,
Or a small wooden doll.
I manage totally fine with the knife by my side all the time.
Oh my God, he really does have a knife there.
It's tooled up. It's tooled up. Nobody upset him.
Yeah. Oh God.
Excuse me, I live in South London. What do you expect?
I live in South London.
Robert's going to do himself in just to spite me.
Exactly.
Be careful what you talk about. That's all I'm saying.
Did a
Where's Paul Hogan when you need him? That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Yeah, my Leatherman is somewhere in the toolbox and I can't be bothered to open that. But that's like 2 meters away.
Well, look, apart from the fact of almost injuring ourselves and obviously your leg almost, kind of...
Not needing
like a
amputation.
needing amputation, obviously, is
No, I
everyone
wouldn't have
else...
said any. I've never said anything about it.
I know.
you
No,
You know.
no. We know the truth. We know you've been hiding it, but we know the truth. We know how close it was to coming
It
off.
was close. It was
Yeah.
close.
Apart from that, is everyone well? Has everyone had a good week? Or 2 weeks in my case, because I haven't seen you all.
Well, Robbie
Well, not-
upgraded the DX, didn't he?
I did. I've got a special one now.
You've got what?
I've got a special edition.
He's got
Works.
a DX8. Or is it the DX6?
What have you got?
No,
What have I missed?
I've just upgraded my DX7 to the final special edition firmware. So now it can output MIDI across all 16 channels, not just the one.
Okay.
And as I was saying to these chaps earlier, you can also store all your pitch bend, mod wheel, breath control, aftertouch, all of those settings per voice, rather than as a global
okay.
thing. However, what it does do is when you swap the firmware over, you then have to now reprogram all of those settings on a per voice level. So, yeah,
Oh, that's a pain in the ass.
yeah, it is a bit, but hey,
I had when I had mine. What was it called? Is it the E Grey?
Oh, the Grey Matter E.
Grey Matter. That's what I had. That upgrade when I had mine back in the distant past.
Yeah, there was that. There was the Supermax. Was another one. And they, I mean, the guy that used to distribute them here in the UK, Godric Wilkie, he was telling me about them, and he said, yeah, they added a lot to a synthesizer that they kind of almost made it a workstation in a way. You could sequence things in there and split the voices and what have you. But he said they did introduce some odd behaviours that were just never fixed. So
what was special about the DX7 Anniversary Edition other than the look?
It was just a DX7
the bouquet
with a 76 keyboard,
Just a look.
76 note keyboard,
and gold,
and
gold
the
wires.
tacky silver gold finish.
Yeah.
and the key, the keys, they
He's
lit
glowed
up in the dark.
Yeah,
They
and
did.
it had
there
a
you
very very nice leather bound instruction manual.
Yeah.
But
Which no one ever read.
no,
a lot of snake oil.
But it is one of those things that, I always thought it looked hideous, but there was a bit of me now going, oh, I wish I'd bought one, just because it was all of those things. I'd be like, do you know what? In a few years' time, I'm gonna be like this about those fucking TE dolls, aren't I? Oh, I wish I'd bought them all.
I've seen a couple of those Centennial editions come up for sale. One was in a really bad way,
but they come up the one I saw, the last one I saw that was in good nick. It was ridiculous money. When you're sitting there going, yeah, it is still just the DX7.
Yeah,
It feels warmer in here already.
you farted.
No, it's only 80 on.
All
I'm
right.
going to say.
I powered up the 5 this week for the first time, the DX5, and I'd forgotten that it's got the 2 XLR outputs on the back, and the standard 1/4 inch. They're noisy as hell. And then you plug in from the XLRs and you forget, and you just it's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful, especially with the hypercards, Robbie?
Yes, they are very good.
Yeah,
Those new sounds are quite nice.
very,
I was
very
playing with the DX1 actually the other day. Been sat there unattended for a little while, so I thought I'll fire it up and had a little play. It's very nice.
This is a bit shit, actually.
It doesn't squeal like a pig like when you had it. It sings for daddy.
Well, come to daddy.
It does.
Squiggling like a pig, Daddy. Aye, we on the right channel here.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Fans only.
Yeah, exactly.
See you later, guys. Bye.
I actually started measuring up to see if I could get it up here somehow.
What?
But I would have to sacrifice something. I don't know.
Well, I'd happily take that KX88.
Well, that's what would have to move. But where would I move it to? And no.
Downstairs.
Well, technically, it's not like it's offering anything other than being a controller.
Yeah.
Have you got anything else 88 in there?
No.
Do you need those extra 12 keys?
Are you planning on doing any Rackman and off in the near future?
Oh, you're joking. I couldn't live without an 88.
I love the KX. I love
Oh,
it.
it is a fantastic bit of kit.
I just love it, and I love it controlling the DX, and it's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah, put it back in my toilet.
You can try to find a stand for the DX1.
Nice one, Rich.
Yeah,
Breeze blocks.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah.
Well, when it was here, just so you know, when it was here, I bought one of those. I think someone else suggested, the Z lock or whatever they're called. The
quick lock with the
quick lock, the Z ones.
Yeah.
That's what I bought for when it was here and it was meant to be living here for a while. I bought one of those, and it was totally solid and totally.
Oh yeah,
it was
you
fine.
need a leg in every corner.
Didn't
that's the
last
thing.
long at all, did it?
No, it didn't. That wasn't my fault, Ken. Don't blame me.
I know it's not your fault. Your name's
It was
Brooksy.
Yeah.
But I was
So-
looking at the LG 800, which is their current big boy stand, and the pictures of it online looked like it probably wasn't deep enough. But then I checked the specs, and it is. And then that Dom Segalis video that he did with the DX1, and he's using one of those stands, and it actually looks the part. And that it sounds vain, but I need it not just for stability, but also need it. It would be nice if it looked proper. So to have a proper Yamaha stand, because it's going to be, on show, so to speak.
Just paint it pink.
Paint it pink. Why pink?
Why not?
Okay.
Pink and brown.
There's
There you go.
never been a
Pink
better
and brown.
argument. There's never been a better argument.
My first question on every day. Pink or brown?
2 dining chairs. That's what I used to use.
Yeah. Well, I've got a big X stand underneath it at the moment, which is stable, but it doesn't look very pretty. So,
You've got it on an X? Really?
Yeah, big double braced X thing.
Even so, I'll
It's
be honest with you. Even so,
each
so,
bars. Yeah.
Yeah, even so.
I know
I wouldn't.
it's solid. Trust me, it's solid.
Okay. I'm saying nothing other than
No.
I think Robert's face was saying exactly what my head was thinking.
This is why I want a 4-legged stand, but this is
I just never like the idea of cantilever with a keyboard that I might be hitting hard on one end or the other.
Couldn't you use a donkey?
A donkey?
Yeah. That's got a leg and
wife
4
a
point, and he's quite used a donkey.
Yeah, or a share dog.
Yeah.
Almost all my stuff is on 3-tier double brace stands with no issues.
Well, I was looking because I was a big fan
Big
of
Roland Z stands.
I'm a big fan of Jasper's stuff, as you can probably see. But they don't do anything that's. The only thing that they do is the one that comes on casters.
Yeah.
I mean, you can take the casters off.
Yeah, no, it's not so much that, but it would be handy to have it on wheels, just to help move the bloody thing around. But
the thing is, even with that one, because I looked at all the spec when I was sorting all my shit out, even with that one, once you buy the special then brace thing, I think it's 50 kilograms max.
Yeah. I think with the long ones it goes up to 80. If you've got it double braced at the front and the back with the long arms that sit on both,
Yeah.
I think it can go up to 80.
Okay. I thought it was 50 when I looked into it. It could be different. But...
Well, I mean, at that point, I'd be very tempted to just buy the long keyboard clamps from Jasper's and then just get normal steel scaffolding and key clamps instead of the plastic parts of Jasper's. So that the actual structural parts are done by metalwork, and then the only thing you use the plastic clamps are for just making it nice for the surface.
I don't think that's a stupid idea because all of my Jaspers on the heavy stuff, I do still just keep looking at there going, just these little bits of plastic that are just,
Yeah, it's just a bit of molded plastic that's held together with one screw.
You got the locking rings on there as well, so that helps. But no, I mean, literally nothing has moved an inch since putting these things up. They're solid as hell. With
it's
big stuff.
All of mine are fine, but it's just that goes through the back of your mind.
Oh yeah.
I always think. I mean, I'm sure everyone has this. The funny one is once you first put it up and you put everything on, it's that coming in the next morning, just going, I hope everything's still there.
Yeah.
It's just, you're almost convinced you're going to come in, it's all going to be on the floor. Exactly.
Well, I mean, I'm surprised my construction here with the console and the 4 wheels and the metalwork it's on and with the racks on top and everything, but that's still up.
Well, hang on a minute. That stuff behind you is on wheels.
Yeah. So the whole it's I mean, you can maybe just about see it. There's like some unistrut here, so it's literally just held together by proper what is that 3mm steel, the unistrut, and then obviously with the bending it's even more stable. But yeah, ultimately it's on 4 big wheels and the frame. The console is bolted to the side, and then on the top the racks are bolted onto a frame.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, well, I'm surprised it's still up as well. You're not the only one.
No, but then again, I mean, many of the broadcast consoles actually have surprisingly little holding them in place, like the big Soundcraft consoles from the 80s or 90s. They like only have a little Z stand with 1 cross brace, So you like only you attach two ends of a Z at either side and the end of the console, and then you have one cross brace in the middle, and you have like this 90 to 120 kilo broadcast console on this tiny little 25 by 50 metal stand. And then I mean these Studer consoles, they were designed that when you have the end cheeks on there, they have like four little metal ball bearings that sit into a stand, and actually most of the weight being just on those. So I mean, if you put approximately the metal work in the right place, where they designed it originally, I was hoping that they might have thought about rotary moments and all those things.
Wait there, I just need to make myself comfortable because I'm about to fall asleep in a second. But hang on, let me just hang on.
It's the elbows, isn't it?
Oh fucking hell! Honestly, I just
sticks right in the colon. Yeah.
Do you know? I'm going to record Robert. I'm going to record Robert giving this sweet talk, and then I'm just going to play it every night to go to sleep to. Carry on. Where were you? Oh, I got as far as ball bearings. Carry on. I got as far as ball bearings.
What Volkers up the arse? What?
Oh, Oh yeah, go for it. Go.
You got a tampon in your ear. Sorry. I didn't want to say anything. Just here. Just at the side.
What else can we talk about? Eating monotrons?
What?
Can't remember
Rob,
gas talk.
Rob,
gas
make Alexa
about
do fart noises.
No. Joking aside, no. I'm sorry, Robert. That was very rude of me.
Come on, all the things we've done on here, but that's like nothing.
That's tame.
We're not even shouting at each other.
Do you know what? You know I love you really, Robert. You know that. So, but
I hope
anyway,
not.
I'm going to, and I love it in a nice way, in a friendly way. I'm going to go. Anyway, no, seriously, I am literally, I was dipping in. Oh, the other thing I meant to say to you, Robbie, was about on the show on Friday when you were talking about all the prepared piano stuff.
Oh yes.
It was just quite sweet with you. John Cage did invent it, by the way. I was sitting there kind of in shouting at the screen because I'm quite into prepared piano.
Well, no, I wasn't sure if he invented it or whether he just popularized it. So that's why I made the distinction.
Yeah, no, you did.
Well, I mean, we don't know whether he invented it, but he's the one who certainly, in the modern age, has invented it.
That's a
reinvented it, rediscovered it.
That's yeah.
Or as John Clowning always says, he didn't invent FM, he discovered it. So maybe
that's fair.
You could say John Cage discovered the prepared piano rather than invented.
Right. He invented. That's perfectly true. Yeah, but I think he would say that himself. He would have said that himself. He would have said that he discovered it. He would never have said he invented it. He would have said he discovered it. But anyway, yeah. But just so you know, it's a great library. That piano
well, I've got the first one.
Well, I've got the first one. The only thing that I have to say I can't find on the second one is on the first one. You know, they make a big thing of all the randomization. The second one, it's not as easy because of the way it's done. Well, if it is, I can't find it. But it's the second one you can get a lot more out of it. But in terms of the randomization, it's not as simple as on the one. But I love that. I love it. It's a really good library.
Yeah, no, it is. So the first one, I couldn't believe it's 10 years ago. That first
I know.
One came out.
I know. Don't.
But, no, I'm sort of getting closer to. I think I'm going to wait till after Christmas. Then I might get the Sonic Pass thing, and then just get it all.
They are good.
Yes.
Actually, on the subject of prepared piano, have you heard John Upstadt's album Disc Music? Where he used this clavier and then basically did it in pieces, like full pieces on a disc clavier that has all, let's say, drum parts and melodic parts, all triggered with it prepared in real time. So it's quite a fascinating album. It came out,
and who's
I think,
that?
start
Who's
of it. John Upstadt. He's like a British media composer who also recently, or a year ago, did a nice recreation of the Herbie Hancock Sunlight gear setup.
Never heard of him.
I'm sure you must have.
That must
No,
be
I haven't. No.
Tom.
John Hopstead.
They put a horse on top of the piano too, says Steve.
As one does.
So a prepared donkey contact sample library is coming soon then, I would imagine.
I've never heard of him. And what did you say the album's called?
Disc music with a K.
This music. Okay. Oh, brilliant. Okay, I will definitely check that out. Excellent. Oh God, all I can narrate is fucking funk bass on off. I know that obviously not talking about synths and things because I'm about to bugger off, but what people's general opinion on the new sequential thing before I bugger off?
Meh.
Surprising.
Don't know
Yeah,
anything about it.
that's exactly it, Rob. I literally just read it all, just went there. Okay, great.
Oh, certainly, guys. We got the specs through about 2 weeks ago, and I was going to do the piece for Gear News. I'm like, I'm just writing off a list of specs. And Sequential wouldn't actually release anything to the press in terms of their blurb and all their pictures until 6 o'clock this evening.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm writing this thing out, I'm thinking this sounds really bland. This is a sequential synth I'm writing about. I'm really having to think about. And then when all their stuff came out and I read through it, I thought, oh no, I got it right. Yeah, it's pretty it's bland.
Honestly,
What are you saying? A Minimoog is really bland 50 years after its inception?
No, we're talking about sequential.
Yes, but it's basically a
it is
polyphonic
basically a polyphonic. Well, it's not.
memory.
That's an insult.
It's not, but
I know
it's not.
exactly what you're saying.
However,
Yeah, three oscillators, kind of ladder filter. Yeah, it's a.
I mean,
we know what they're trying to say. They're trying to do,
done.
but it's just yeah.
I think it would be more interesting if they would now combine that Prophet 06 and OB6 in a Mega Andromeda or Mode 1 killer. Just all those free technologies.
We were talking before the show started about just the amount, or maybe just after the show started, about just how many synths are out there now. We're sport for choice now. And it almost
shitloads.
It almost feels like manufacturers are struggling. It's almost like desperation to put out something.
Yeah.
And what they're actually putting out, I'm looking at it going, yeah.
Yes.
There's a few that I really, really want, but there's so many that I'm just looking at going, well.
Do you know? I think I definitely had this conversation with Kent. I think I had this conversation with you as well, Rob. It's the fact that the problem is at the moment, and for me it's been like this for like the last 18 months, 2 years, there's just shitloads out there, and there's just loads of it that just makes me go, yeah, it's all right, it's okay, it's quite good. But do you remember the days when it was just like, fuck, I've got to have that's amazing. And they're so few and far between these days that it's
there's the Wave 3 that's unique, and
a lot of the exciting stuff is happening at
Can I just point out though, I do have to just say about the I played that, and it's all right. Honestly,
yeah.
No, I don't. No, I'm not. I don't want to because, but yeah. I mean, even that, I played with it when I was here for a while, and it was fine. It was okay. It was nice.
Paula's.
Yeah, it was Paula's, and as I said at the time, and I think I said to you, Rob, is the fact that fair enough, if I didn't have a Quantum and I didn't have the Solaris, I'd sit there going, yeah, this is nice. But even then, it was nice. It was good, but it honestly really did not make your things fizz.
Has anyone actually played with? I'm sure you may have, Ty. Has anyone played with the C15 yet?
I've got one. I've had one for years. Yeah, C15 is. Well, everyone knows I raved about it. I think a few weeks ago, wasn't it? Basically, I'd got mine back and I was using it on something, and honestly, it was just. It is a beautiful, 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 beautiful synth.
That's the kind of thing that really has my attention, and at the price it just seems it's so different.
Yeah,
it's so different, and that's
it's really nice.
Don't they still have their rent-to-own model for that as well, or has that with Brexit?
They're still doing the rental stuff on it. Yeah, I think so. So But I just, yeah, I had a bit of a because what had happened was when mine had come back, they basically completely filled it full of a whole new bank of patches and presets and whatever that were completely new from when mine came out. And when mine came, 'cause don't get me wrong, it's not easy to program. You have to really think of it in a different way. So it's not a quick, easy thing to program. And so a lot of it, because I don't have the time, is relying on what's in there and just messing. And when I bought mine, which was a few years ago now, there weren't a lot of things available. And then it went back for a while and came back and they'd absolutely filled it full. And honestly, some of the sounds coming out of it were fucking amazing. Properly. It's great for bigger soundscapey stuff as well as kind of solo stuff.
I just love I like the two ribbon idea.
The ribbon controllers, but I've got the pedals with it. So basically, both of those are assigned to pedals. So both of the ribbon controllers, you can either manually do them or you can do them via pedals. And the amount of movement you can get going on. Yeah, C15 is a beautiful thing. So, but anyway. Anyway, I am going to go. I'm really sorry. I'm going to love and leave. And so lovely to see you all again, even you, Robert. And I will hopefully
just fuck off, will you? Just go. Honestly,
I'll hopefully see you guys soon.
All right,
okay,
mate. Take it
be
easy.
good. See you later. Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Hampton Bridge.
What a wanker.
Yeah.
You did that without your hands moving. How did you do that?
It's over here now, you see.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I had to move my desk all around to fit the MiniFreak in the front here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to go and get a copy.
I think I might get G&T in a minute.
You're going to fill that up with something.
I've been such a good boy this week. I haven't had anything.
No.
No, I've run out of grappa. It's a terrible thing for an Italian to say. But,
Matt, whereabouts are you in the world?
he's over there.
Devon.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm up in Stroud. We should have a chat sometime, and if by the way you need anything at any point, shout.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you.
No, you've been very sweet as well. So seriously.
Bless you. Oh, thank you very much. That's much appreciated.
Not a problem. Right then, I think I'm going to bugger off as well because I've got other people to go and see.
Take your gammy foot.
Yeah, I'll somehow manage to hobble out here. I'll only cry a bit. Matt knows just how difficult it's been for me this week.
I don't know. Those right angle ankles, they're a bastard, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, they are.
Oh, don't. I actually dislocated my ankle 2 weeks before I got married back 20 years ago.
Anything to get out of it.
Honestly.
I wouldn't mind. I was playing. My wife to be was in goal.
He shoots, he scores.
I fucking didn't that for a couple of weeks at least. But oh mate, yeah, that was bad. I heard it go.
Ooh.
It was like somebody flicking your fingers across the top of a pack of cards.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, nasty. Went up the aisle in plaster.
Like the little wooden dolls.
Yeah. Oh, Hayley's just asked how you are, Kent.
I'm pretty good actually, but I'm in a relationship. Sorry.
Which she did say, Fiona.
I always like that joke.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, you fucker. There we go.
Oh, dear.
So, I'm fine, thank you, darling.
Good. Good.
Yeah, I'm all right too.
She already knows
Yeah,
who
fuck
you are
you.
because she knows we were talking earlier.
Dear, oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh, there you go. She's just come back and said, "And is Robbie okay?" Because I've just said,
I'm very well.
He's fine.
he's doing all right.
He's okay.
Yeah. Listen, good to see you all.
You
And
too,
you.
mate.
And you, darling.
Yes, indeed. Marvellous, marvellous, marvellous.
Super, super, super.
And Rob,
Mm.
guess what?
What?
Do you know what I've got for you?
Well,
Ooh,
go on.
I've
Crab?
got an E4 XT. If you, yeah,
I know.
An E4 XT Ultra with an RFX card.
I'm still waiting.
I haven't had one.
Wow.
It's very nice.
I know.
It's ever so nice. It is.
So you keep saying.
Yeah.
Yes, I have to sort that out.
Well, I'll be opening the studio soon, doing a soft launch, so you'll all get
Yes.
invited.
Thank you.
Wunderbar.
I
Right.
do like soft launches.
I've got
I'm going to go
tablets
and
for
watch
that.
some porn.
Get rid of that soft launch.
Oh, dear. It's about all I can muster these days.
Like I say, I've got tablets for that if you need them. So.
Yeah, I tried those. I ended up vaulting out the window. I don't know what happened there. very, very. Listen, I'm going to confess something to you all now. Right, once I did actually, when I was a young lad, have a real problem with the size of the old fella, and I thought, maybe I'm smaller than most, and it became a real sort of thing for me. It stuck in my head. I've got a size. So I went to the doc and I said, look, this is really affecting my life. It's affecting my quality of life. Is there anything you can do? He said, well, we can't do anything on the NHS, but I know of this German doctor who does sort of experimental transplants, and he's doing animal parts. You go and see him. So I did. I went along and saw this guy. Yeah. And he suggested a whole bunch of things. And in the end, he said, look, the only thing we've really got that's going to suit you is an elephant trunk. Yeah. So I had an elephant's trunk put down instead of the old fella. And you know what? It was great, except at tea time. When I'd sit there having a nice cup of tea, and it was snake out, grab a bun and stuff it up my arse. And honestly, I'm not sure. I've really not been sure.
Yeah, I know somebody else who's had this as well, yeah.
When it was trying to eat your nuts that was the problem.
Hey.
Hey.
Boom.
Oh dear.
Right then. Yeah, I think so. Cheers, gents.
Bye, darling.
See you later.
I'm going to go and embarrass someone else now. Take care of yourselves. Matt, if you need anything, I'm serious. DM me anytime.
Thank you.
Money, your car.
Yeah.
Your elephant trunk.
Your elephant's trunk. Yeah.
More of a tape here, really.
Another bum. Make sure they're still in the packet, not the used ones.
But not the E4 XT, that's mine.
Oh.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to go and find a Belgian bun. See you later.
Yeah, take care.
Hampton Bridge.
What a wanker.
Oh, bless him.
Excuse me.
Oh, fuck.
In one.
Right, I'm going to get this coffee. For
Yeah, go on then.
Look, go.
Hurry up, so I'm going to get my G&T.
Okay.
Can't leave these two on their own.
Have you got Jackie's car done yet?
Yeah. Yes.
Good.
Can you tell I'm still wearing the same clothes as last week?
Bit of a weight off. Bit of a weight off.
Yeah, well, thing is, as soon as you got it back, she's like, "Oh, what happens if another one goes?" I said, "You fucking pay for it yourself." No, she's it's sweet. No, they did a good job, and they kept the price down as much as they could, but it was still 770 something, and the injector was £469 plus VAT just for the injector.
Okay, now.
and then everything else was labour and seals and that kind of stuff.
Silly money, innit?
It is, but there you go. You live and learn. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, we bought the car a few months ago, and it was we bought it second hand off a private dealer, not a dealer, private person, and you just don't know, but an injector can just go just like that.
Yeah.
So it's nothing. You just have to sort of suck it up and go. Right.
It's one of the consumables, isn't it? Really.
Indeed. Although I've never had. I mean, I've had loads of diesels, never had an injector go, but So, fingers crossed. I mean, it's sweet as a nut now. It's sailed through its MOT, apart from a couple of coils at the back that needed doing. Everything else was nice. So
good.
She's happy. It's working.
Cress said fuel duty's going up 23% in March. Is that right?
I've not seen that. That would be ridiculous. There'd be a fucking uproar if fuel duty went up.
Fucking right, there would.
It's easy enough for you, Robbie. You just load up your diesel with heating on instead. I mean, it's the same thing anyway.
It's not. It really isn't. Heating oil's kerosene.
Price of that, it cost you about 800 quid to get off the drive, wouldn't it?
I'll tell you exactly how much I pay a litre for that, because I've just fucking paid 1,500 quid for a tank. And the price per litre of that was a mere... come on. Where are we? Oh, shit. I've just seen my balance. What was it? Something like 106. It's £1.6 or £1.8 a litre for the kerosene at the moment. But that's got to last a long while. Long while.
Also, you actually use kerosene for heating in the UK.
Heating oil,
Because in Germany it's normally just pretty much the same as diesel. So the standard thing, if you're driving on your own private roads with your own private vehicles, then most farmers would just carelessly take heating oils out of their tanks and fill up the tractors where they're only going on their own fields anyway, because who cares at that point?
No, it's all. Well, I say it's all. There is, I think, there's different grades of the kerosene, but it's just kerosene. Not obviously aircraft grade kerosene, but although every now and again, because the vent pipe is the wind's blowing, you get a whiff of it. Ooh, it smells a bit like an airport. No, it's not cheap.
I miss that nice old diesely oily smell from oil heating.
Well, I think I don't know what it used to be, because obviously living out I've lived in and around here all my life. So most houses I've only ever lived on. When have I had mains gas? Maybe in. Did I have gas there? I had gas there. Probably about one or two houses all my life. I've had mains gas. Just don't, because they don't stick it out where we are. So it's only when I've lived in the town or the city that I've had gas. But yeah, there is a nice. I mean, I love the smell of diesel anyway.
I mean, it's bloody disgusting, but it's still nice in a disgusting way.
It's nice in its own way. Yeah, it's like.
But then again, proper aircraft or military grade kerosene, that is an acquired taste, and it's quite nice.
I love the smell. I love when I get near an airport and you can smell it. I think it's just a smell. I think it's an association that I like. It's the association of that smell. You know that you're in an airport, and if you're at an airport, you're going somewhere, and you're going to fly in a big plane or something. So there's that kind of anticipation.
If that's the kerosene smell at an air show, that's for me like, that's a nice trip to get high on.
Yeah.
Kerosene everywhere.
Yes. Matt, I'm just going to say no, mate. No.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Right, end of. Okay. Okay.
Twat.
No, not a twat. But okay. No. I will take that as it is. All right.
Yes. No. It helped that I got. So I'm now doing this, this gear news thing. So that's paying quite nicely. So
okay,
it's all good.
No, like I say, right. End of. Line drawn.
Indeed. Oh. So I had my phone in my hand for a reason. I was going to check this duty claim because I don't think it's gone up by that. I certainly don't remember seeing anything. Autumn statement. Here we go. Taxation, wages, energy. Oh yeah, did you see electric cars are now going to get screwed for road fund license?
What? Massive fucking surprise.
Yeah.
Wow.
As of, it was coming, wasn't it?
What part of Tory you're not actually understanding there?
Yeah, but no, I mean, you make vehicle excise duty free for low emissions vehicles and electric vehicles to encourage people to buy them, right? So we're all looking for cars that are as cheap on tax as we possibly can get. Yeah. And then eventually there was going to be a point where, electric vehicle users are down here and all of us dirty oil burners are up here, and it's all going to go like this. And where the government's not going to be making any money out of us, so they're going to bring in vehicle excise duty for electric vehicles sooner or later, and they're bringing it in 2025.
And what's wrong with the 40% tax bracket?
Exactly.
2020. What are they expecting that this government is around in 2025?
Well, this is it. They make whatever government was going to be in charge, they were going to levy the excise duty.
It is inevitable, but there's no way around it eventually.
Looks like my Mustang's just gone up in price.
Well, I'm still paying the what do they call it now? The extra bit they fucking whack on top of your vehicle excise duty because your car was over a certain price when new. So I don't pay 160, I pay 500 and something.
But let's bend you over tax.
Yeah, it's the KY jelly tax. I told you when I bought the car, they made no mention of this. I was blissfully unaware, because when was I ever going to own a car that was over I think it was over £40,000 list price when new? I didn't pay that, obviously. And I walked into the dealership on the morning to go and pick the car up, and your new car excited, give it a new try. And I go sit down. He says, "Right, should we do the tax then?" I said, "Yeah, go on then." So he just taps it all out, and he turns the thing around the screen, because it's on an iPad. He says, "There you go. You just want to put in your details." And I said, "Well, I think you might have put the wrong registration number in there, mate. That says £546." He said, "Oh, hang on a minute." He just double checked. He says, "No, that is right." I said, "How is it that?" He said, "Oh yeah, it's because your vehicle was over £40,000 when new." I said, "So I'm not paying that." He said, "Oh, if you want to drive he says, is that going to be a problem?" I said, "Well, no, really, because what do I say? Oh no, I'll drive away in my old car again now that we've agreed all the things and I've signed all the documentation." Fuck off. So luckily, it only lasts for the first 5 years after the initial year, and because the car is it'll be 5 years old next year, I've only got sort of like 18 months to pay, and then it goes back down to normal. So let that be a warning: if you're going to buy a second-hand car, check out how much it was before, when it rolled off the forecourt the first time. Crazy.
Fuckers, isn't they?
Yeah. But the good thing is that we swapped my wife's car over from a car that was costing more a year to tax. It was a little 1.2 petrol than my diesel. So we got rid of that, and she now pays 30 quid a year tax on the Golf. So that evens itself out a little bit.
It always comes down to the man trying to get something from you.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can understand why you want to levy a little bit more on cars that are, much more expensive. I just never. I've never bought a car that's been that price brand new. So.
We had a funny thing here with carpool lanes where when they started selling hybrids and electric cars, mostly hybrids at the time, one of the goodies was, hey, you get a carpool lane sticker you can use anytime. High occupancy vehicle, even though you're not. It could be one person. And those didn't last very long, and now they'll never get those out again. And the carpool lanes even get full now, so it's kind of stupid. So, too many people.
Yeah. But this assumption that electric vehicles were going to get a free ride, vehicle excise duty in the UK is a significant earner for the whichever administration is in. It's a significant source of income that unfortunately doesn't get directly spent on the infrastructure that the vehicles that it's levied from. Yeah. It's no longer the road fund license. Even though I still old school, still keep calling it that. It just goes straight into the main purse, shall we say?
Hey, how do the Tories view electric cars?
What? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Just real quick. How do the Tories view electric cars? Because over here, the Republicans are all in bed with the oil companies, so they don't want that many electric cars, right?
I don't think there's a. I mean, I've seen that over there, and it's not like that over here. Certainly, they're all actively encouraging, and have done for many years, to give tax breaks to people who decide to run low emissions vehicles, whether they're electric or super efficient, low carbon stuff.
But your energy to your home is still fossil fuel based, right? Or you guys have a lot more.
No, it's a mixture really. It all depends. I mean, my electricity company guarantees that all the electricity that I'm supplied is sourced from renewables.
No, they pay people for a certificate for that, but I mean,
yes.
Ultimately it isn't.
But yes, if you trace it back, you will have been getting. It's your electricity doesn't go directly into a wind turbine. I understand the electricity network and how that works,
and also the energy commodity market on top of it.
But they will only buy electricity from people who generate it through renewable sources. Yes, it's most likely all gets kind of.
My electricity company burns polar bears.
But no, we have some of the biggest wind farms in Europe. We have there's even more solar panels going up as farmers can no longer afford to farm. They're giving a lot of their fields over to solar panels.
You had a big mobile wind farm too. It was Boris, right?
Yeah, quite. Yeah, stick him in front of some of those. Plus, we have nuclear, of course, and gradually fewer and fewer gas. I think we've got more gas now fired power stations than coal power stations.
Oh yeah.
Well,
so it's not awful. I mean, obviously it could be so much better, but it's not awful.
Because gas is one of the most convenient ones to quickly supply power.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, even coal power plants are slow to get going. I mean, nuclear. I mean, that goes pointless as a backup for other renewables because it's.
But even the biggest wind farms we've got, we don't own.
Oh no, most of the wind farms are owned by either the French or the Chinese.
Oh, really?
I think there's one that's owned by Norway, massive one off the coast of Wales or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you come this side of the country, there's not many beaches you can go on the east coast now and not see, in the distance, just massive wind farms from all the way from Kent right up to Hull and Humberside, and probably further still, because I mean the North Sea is a fantastic source of wind. So why not capture?
I love all the Republicans here that say they look at all these turbines chopping up birds. They don't give a shit about wildlife, but it's one excuse to not use wind power, right? All those poor birds,
well, doesn't it? No, so wind's getting a. We've got a small place just down the road here. It's just an old, because we've got lots of old World War II airfields that most of them have been converted into industrial, sites where small businesses can set up. And there's one just down the road here, and they've got a power station that is fueled primarily by chicken shit, and half a dozen bloody great, I mean, really big wind turbines. But yeah, there's a few of those. What do they call them now? It's dried chicken shit.
Nice.
The methane ones.
No, they burn this dried stuff, and it's just like it's like burning coal and stuff. But obviously, it's you're burning stuff that hasn't got a huge amount of carbon in it. There's a few of those around here.
Burning Matthews would have made a fortune, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
They want to burn some chicken shit. We got plenty of people here to add to the fire. So
Yeah. But certainly out in the country. So I mean, coal fires. We've got a coal fire downstairs in the front room. We burn anthracite, and we used to burn seasoned wood logs, but they're sort of gradually being phased out, and we're using these compressed. It's essentially like compressed sawdust. And
the classic poor man's version, like the wet newspaper curled up and dried, right?
No.
Getting lovely pellets.
Well, the things we get, they're kind of like hexagonal with a bit of a hole in the middle, and it's just because they have these sticks, and they just wrap this. I don't know how they make it, but they compress. There's like wood chips and sawdust and everything, and it's just compressed in tightly under great pressure into these kind of things, and then they just chop them up, and you buy them for a few quid a bag, and they burn quite long, and they burn quite hot as well. So they're in some ways they're better than just a piece of season.
Ireland's got it made with their peat bricks.
Peat bogs. Yeah.
They sell those logs here with extra chemicals, so you get colored flames out of them called Duraflame. I don't know if you guys have those, but oh look, it's a red flame. Oh, it's a green flame. It's like you're breathing that shit, you idiots.
Never seen that. Never seen that. Yeah, it's all good fun. What's that?
No, there's little squeaks.
So, Robbie, you like physical modeling? You're going to get an Omega?
Do you know, I looked at the video, and look, it's a lovely thing, but it didn't sound different enough. It didn't. I mean, maybe I need to listen to it a bit more. But I liked when I saw the first one they did, the Fee. I thought that made some quite interesting sounds.
Yeah. Well, now it does even more because they had all the mutable stuff they had access to. So.
But I don't like the way that they've taken physical modelling and they say, oh yeah, and there's a bit of virtual analog in there as well. And there's a bit of wavetone. I just want pure. I want you to focus on the physical modelling side, because I watched that Dom Segala's VP1 video today where he's playing through it, and yeah, it's only a brief thing, but when you listen to the VP1, that's what I want. That.
It's true, but you saw that Mac editor that Manny was using. That thing is horrible. Who wants to use that thing?
No, but you wouldn't have that, today in the 21st century. You'd have something much more
hopefully,
user friendly. But I want that, because that I mean, I haven't really looked into the specs of this new Omega in terms of what or how it's doing its physical modelling. But I bet it's not doing it the same way. I bet it's doing it the same way as all the others have done.
Yeah.
And I would just like, I wish Yamaha would just say, "Hey, everyone, here's a VP1 plugin." So.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that
But no,
hard, really.
it looks interesting, and it's a very well. It was with the 40% off. It was a very fair price.
It's still a good deal. It's like,
but even at full price,
it's like $200 more now. So what? You know,
yeah,
it's just...
yeah. No, it looks good, and you know, I might. Now is not the time for me to be investing in keyboards, so I think it'll go on the list along with the Wave.
I was going to get the 40% one, but I just was curious because I wasn't sure if people were going to bite, and I've already been burned on a couple Kickstarters, so now that people have really taken with it, I'm like, okay, now it's worth getting on.
Yeah,
because Anima Phi was pretty quick. They released that pretty quick, but unfortunately,
yeah.
they released it so quick, it was half-assed. And then Wagyu can attest to this. The major update was fucking huge, and it's great now.
And this is what I like about what Sonicware are doing with the sample trek, is that it's been delayed again by another week because they were about to ship and then they found another bug.
Oh.
So that, you know, they're making sure that everything will come, you know, these days will come with something that's lurking that they didn't find through testing, but they're just making sure that it's what goes out is not, like you say, half-assed, and is because that, I mean, I remember when the Alesis Fusion launched, and that was so fucked up, and we're like, no, you can't release it yet. No, don't. It's not ready. Oh no, we got to. Why? Oh, bean counters are telling us we've got to do it. Oh shit! So it goes out, and of course, everyone gets hold of a test model or a review model, and they're like, "What the fuck is this piece of shit?"
Yeah.
And they put it into the stores next to Korgs and Tritons and Phantoms or whatever Rolands were doing at the time. And those machines, you power it up and you choose patch A1, and it's the most amazing, enormous, fantastic sound. And you go to the Alesis Fusion, patch A1, and it's an old Q Up Arts sampled piano that was made about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So you move to the next sound. What's the next sound on the Alesis Fusion? Oh, it's another piano.
Yeah, a lot of piano.
In fact, the first 10 patches are all piano because they'd categorized them, and so category 1 was, you know, pianos. So you go into a shop and they say, "Oh, look at all these workstations." You go, and then there's plickety plonk, plickety plonk, and all the things they said it could do could only do about half of them. And those things that weren't working, like for example, it's got 8-track hard disk recording, and you also got this MIDI sequencing, but at launch they wouldn't synchronize. There's absolutely no way you could get the digital audio to synchronize with the MIDI.
God, I know, was that messed up when they released it?
Oh, it was terrible.
Because even at final product, it's not a great thing. I have fun with it, but it's not wonderful. You know,
the final version of the OS fixed pretty much everything.
Because some of the models on are kind of weedy and stuff. They're not really that feature filled.
Oh, the physical modeling is pretty limp, should we say?
Yeah.
It's
also downright ugly too. They made a really ugly keyboard.
There's a Buck Rogers fan somewhere in the design department.
But I feel the same way about the Andromeda. It's really ugly as well. So.
Yeah, but it's not ugly.
Look at Robert.
But it's not. No, the Andromeda.
He knows that. I already told Robert.
The Andromeda is quirky.
It sounds great, but it's just ugly. You know?
But
it is a stupid interface in my opinion. I like the design idea.
Yeah, but it's not a fusion interface.
Yeah, well then again, it's very different. The Andromeda was supposed to be knobby, whereas the Fusion was the future. You don't need knobs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a completely different way of approach.
I wonder if mine still works. Shall we see? I haven't powered it on in such a very long time.
It is literally, the 8HD is the heaviest thing I own. It is.
Oh yeah,
like a tank.
The build quality is fantastic.
Yeah. And I have a Matrix Brute and all this other kind of stuff. That thing is really heavy.
Must be lighter than a CS80.
Well, yeah. Not much else though. I mean, it's really heavy.
Right, ready for a bang.
It's also long and heavy, so that makes it more awkward, right?
That's what she said.
Exactly. It is awkward. You can't get in there, right?
Excuse me, there are no green or blue sparks, and there are no bright flames coming out of the keyboard. I'm disappointed, Robbie.
Oh wait, it's not
Clearly,
plugged in.
clearly not an original one, is
No,
it?
it's still booting because it has to build all the banks in the libraries.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the other thing too. It has a real hard drive in there, so you have to worry about that dying on you. So you gotta.
Perhaps replace it with an SSD or CF card, right?
Right. But it needs.
It's got CF built in.
I don't think I can take a standard SSD. I think it takes an older one. I forgot.
No, but like, yeah, if it just has an IDE drive, then you just get an adapter for compact.
You have to get a
card,
special adapter, I think. Yeah. So
and put like a 32 or 64 gig CF card in there. It's easy enough. Well, it's about like one of the main things with neurons these days.
There you go.
Yes, what Magoo says, P88, parallel 88.
yeah, it's P88. That's right.
Because, well,
Blew,
I
blew
mean,
my ears out.
Yeah, that's the power supply gone.
Oh, well, Robbie's had experience with those, hasn't he, with that fucking DX1?
well, I mean, he also said he has experience with Fairlights, with Vanias, tantalums blowing up in the most spectacular
He's got to
ways.
pull it out now.
I need so I can find that. Oh, I see.
This is better than the DX7 workout he was doing that one time. So. Yeah, there's definitely some good pads in there and some good weird sounds and stuff. But I feel the same way about the OB12 that everyone hates. So.
Oh, better. Oh.
That's still in there. Oh, it still works. I'll give it that. It's so slow though.
Quick, get it up on eBay.
You laugh.
Before it's too late, man.
Have you used the EPS yet?
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, that was a trip down memory lane.
I bet it was.
Yeah.
The LEDs and the pitch bends still work.
Yeah, the only later releases ones I haven't tried are the Q card ones, the QS and the all that stuff. I haven't tried those. I'm not sure what those are all about.
What the crosswinds?
Yeah, they have these cards, these Q cards you put in there.
Try and remember how to use this bloody thing.
Up.
That's a very comfortable playing position there.
Yeah. Those knees are going to hurt.
It hurt his knees and throughout his back.
Next studio edition is those gardening pads that you kneel on.
Yeah.
Covered in dust.
What about
Oh,
the
you have a
keyboard?
dust cover on it?
Dust covers, what are they? No.
Oh, man. I can't
So,
live
to
with
the
no
surprise
dust
of
cover.
everybody, the Fusion still works today.
I know, and I haven't powered that up. Honestly, I don't know last time I powered that up.
I mean, really, you should power it up for like an hour every half year, just to keep the power supply capacitors all right.
Well, it's good with
What
the
I
hard
need
drive,
to do,
too.
if I wanted to use it, I'd put the SSD in it, because there is a way. Obviously, it wasn't official, but there was a way of putting an SSD, and I always wanted to get the expansion boards.
Ah.
But, they're rare as well. Actually, they're not super rare, because they were also this is the benefit of Akai and Alesis being under the same roof at the time, as they borrowed technology. So like the MPC 5000 was essentially the Alesis Fusion with an MPC thing chucked on top. So it had the same memory boards, it had the same virtual analog engines and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, those shared Yamaha boards are cool, too, but they're also getting rare now. You can't find those expansion boards anywhere. Those A1B3s or whatever the fuck they're called. Those AEB1 or AE something.
So yeah, I'm quite pleased. I was actually thinking, just checking he's not listening in, because I don't want him to think that he's definitely going to get it. I thought I was going to do a permanent loan thing to my boy, because then he'll have something he can actually, if he can program a Fusion, he'll be able to get along with pretty much anything.
He's going on Andromeda next.
Yeah.
Andromeda's easy to program.
It is. Yeah.
You just live in with it.
Until the
display all
encoders
the time.
start jumping
I
or
was
do
going
two
to
things
say,
at
when
once.
the encoders work, yeah.
Encoders, excuse me, those are all parts. That's the problem.
Well, either way, they were jumpy, and they sometimes do two things at once. They're not supposed to do that.
I mean, the solution is you just put contact cleaners all of them, which is nasty.
This is a brand new unit I played.
Again, you put contact cleaner in them and they're fine.
I know, but come on, brand new unit. Shouldn't do
I'm
that.
going to get a drink.
They use cheap components, I think.
Well, it's actually not cheap, like that's shit.
Okay, whatever. Whatever you want to call it.
No,
So you mean?
Something expensive can also be shit, which is
That's true,
exemplified in the pods they chosen there.
Like the Sony Vaio computers. Those are pretty shit, right?
They look great. They at least had a good.
Well, that was the whole
design.
point. Yeah, they look great, but they don't.
They were good enough for Kraftwerk to mime to.
I was going to say, yeah, Kraftwerk used them, didn't they?
Did they really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, that was like the whole live rig.
That was the
Holy
minimum maximum
shit.
tool, wasn't it?
Yeah,
So
it was like
around that time.
or for nearly 10 years, I think it was the Sony laptops.
I missed that part. That's funny.
Which is fun. I haven't watched it for a long time. I mean, mainly because Music Live has nothing in common with the Kraftwerk that I like. But it would be nice to see whether it was already back, because nowadays, of course, it's just Nuendo running on Ralph's rig, and then just with some parts muted and then playing them. But ultimately, it is just a Nuendo playback.
He's using Nuendo Live, huh? Wow.
I mean, again, if you have a computer that works with it, then that you're not changing stuff on.
Actually, I finally just picked that up. They had a 50% off sale recently, so I couldn't resist. I said, I think I'll try Nuendo out. It looks pretty cool. It has some really good features in there that Cubase doesn't have. So,
I mean, the main features that are really amazing are pretty much nowadays just all the authoring tools, which again are amazing if you need them. But apart from that, and obviously now in Europe or in continental Europe, they are sort of becoming the standard in post-production because of how much better they are than Pro Tools and how much cheaper they are than
working with video and stuff. Yeah,
and then obviously also game audio work, but they have a really easy Wise integration where you can just get assets out and over into Wise.
And they've built in vocal designer and some other clever stuff. I'm like, wow, this thing's pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff in it.
But then again, you're paying a bit of a premium over Cubase for those very specific things.
Not when it's half price.
Well, that's the Cubase price, half of Well, again, is normally more stable because it's sort of it's about half a year to a year behind Cubase. So normally by the time version 1 comes out, or the new main version comes out, all the issues that the Cubase had for a year are resolved.
I really must put my Minimoog back together.
Which generation is it?
She's 74.
So already 726s or still 3040s? Or was the 3080s?
It'd be 3046s.
3046s still?
Yeah, it should be a 3046 by then.
So still nicer oscillators. And already with the... Did the minis already have a temperature compensation below, like on the modulars, like on the 921s, or did they only start with the modulars that they did that?
No, I think the RAs had them. Some RA minis had them. But then it was dropped. I think I stopped seeing it in the late Musonics. And then by the time it's gone to the 3046s, I didn't have to worry about it at all.
Well, yeah, I guess you spare transistors in that array as heaters.
Yeah, just balance, matched, just put some matched transistors in it. Seemed to do the job. But they used to put these FETs in the old RAs. They were bastards, they were. Used to run the current source. I'm trying to remember the code on them. And they were like, you cannot get these things, full stop. I think the nearest thing to them was, I think it was the J110 or 115, which was near enough, but I had to put them onto a piece of aluminium with some heat paste and put them in the oven and heat them up to about 150 degrees for 10 minutes, and then doing that, let them cool down naturally, and they're matched. And that seemed to sort it all out. But I've only ever seen one of these FETs go, but when they do, Jesus Christ, the thing goes all over the shop. It just goes mental.
Getting those old simple FETs is becoming quite annoying at times.
Yeah, well, these ones we just couldn't find them, full stop. Just no bugger had them.
Or again, depending what they're doing most of the time, if you're within limit, you can probably find a different FET that, well, basically does the same thing.
Yeah. Well, you can get, like I say, you can get them close, but sometimes you have to fettle them a bit, or maybe change a surrounding resistor. You know, get it in the ballpark.
Yeah, but I even had the annoying thing that's getting J112s 2 years ago. That was annoying.
Yeah.
It is like one of the most boring standard FETs.
Yeah. I found the best way of buying them was they do these little FET selection boxes on Amazon. They have a lot of the J series in them as well. It's better to actually buy most of the, your bread and butter stuff in those selection boxes on Amazon. There's no point in trying to get them through the main stock. I went to RS to get momentary switches, and they normally have what, 50 to 150,000 in stock at any one time, and they had 900. That's all they had. But you could back order them, but not this year, mate. So I go, well, this guy needs his TR-808 back now. So I had to go shopping, and I found there was some on Amazon. It's a bomb of Amazon.
Well, you can, particularly in those sad stock kits, you can get parts that you wouldn't think you'd ever find anywhere else.
Yeah, it still makes me laugh though when you can type some really obscure thing into eBay and there'll be somebody somewhere who's got one for sale, and you go, you little git. Except when it said, when it came to the plastic impeller for the multi-Monica, that didn't come up with anything. Actually, multi-Monica didn't come up with anything in the search. But I think the bloke's given up on that ever working, or died, or one of the others, whichever comes first. I think I haven't heard from him in donkeys now. So I wonder whether the valves are still working in it now. It's a right old little piece of history, but I can't spend too much time on these things. I've got to get everything else out the door. So just today, 2 CS80s, an OBSX, a 700S, and another JD800, and that's just today. I've done them. I'm fucked. Trying to get as much stuff out the door as possible. It would be nice to actually walk into the front room and it's not full of keyboards. That would be great. So, because the workshop's nice and tidy now, but I don't fancy filling it up with bloody keyboards.
Well, because then you don't have any space to work on them.
Well, it's not so much that. It's what with all this energy, electricity and gas going up in price, I'm going that AC unit to warm that place up. Going to be a pretty penny.
Well, I guess need to charge a bit more for CS80 restoration. Sorry, mate, 10 grand. I can't do it for less.
Yeah, watch them queue up at the door. Not. They go, nah, we'll leave it for now, mate. I'll just sell it as is.
Really? No, with the CS80, they will still try to sell it for 60. Or well, then it will just be 70 grand instead.
Well, there's one in the front room, like I said, I've just finished her. She's ex-BBC. She's in really, really lovely condition. Beautiful condition. And the guy's going to put her up for 30, I think. And it's a really, really, really nice... It's quite a late one, so it's quite tight. It's better than that one, actually, in many respects. That's pretty sweet, that one. So
I should bloody hope so. It's in your house.
Yeah, I might have a DX7 coming in for repair. Somebody contacted me the other day.
Yeah.
Somebody in Walthamstow is selling one for 50 quid, non-functioning. And my mate said to me, "Is this worth any? Is it worth getting?" And I said, "Well, it's a DX7, of course it is."
Get a completely different answer if you find it.
After he finished laughing, I said, "Look, if it's just the power supply, that won't cost much to get that recapped. But I say it all depends if it's taken anything else out with it. But I said, even if it costs you a couple of £100 to get that up and running again, which it won't, but even if it did, you could then flip it for twice that on eBay at the moment."
Yeah.
Yes, apparently the X7s cost money these days.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
So like I offered my tutor 50 at drama school. Just like, what, that much?
Yeah, times have certainly changed.
Like for one that's been stuck there since 84, 85. Pretty much spent most of those years in its flight case.
Yeah, but it's like this OBSX and this 80. Neither of them been turned on for about, what do you reckon? It's about 35, 40 years. I'm going, oh, this should be interesting.
Yeah. Do you sometimes perform a variac and just slowly drive them up, or do you just go for it and go with the pain of replacing everything?
Yeah, honestly, I'd rather they just went, and then go, right, because the power supply's going to get done anyway. So I'd rather they just went bang. Because it's always it's always the caps and stuff like that. Go, oh no, sorry, I can't take the weight, and I'm going to be pulling them anyway. So, but you know what? 99 times out of 100, you turn them on and go, hello. And sometimes, 4 hours later, and they're still running. Hi, and they're perfectly okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Many times with capacitors, they will be insanely far out of spec, but if the circuits around them are happy with that, then it doesn't matter. If they're not happy with that, or with many mixing desks which have interesting things for the power rails, like with all the capacitors, won't come up simultaneously, positive and negative voltage, then you can get massive bangs.
Yeah. But I mean, if you got something like touts, I mean, they're going to go bloody bang, anyway.
They're just a ticking time bomb. So you either decide to replace them now, and they will, and then again they might go bang in 10 years, or they might last another 50 years.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, with touts, I get rid of the touts and put electrolytics in. So.
But again, nowadays. Electrolytics are so good, even cheap ones, but you can most likely, or they're most likely better than a 30-40-year-old tantalum.
Yeah.
Well, then again, if a circuit has been specifically designed across the higher quality and faster slew rates, then maybe replacing it will have worse effects.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the difference between a modern one and a historic component. If it worked beforehand, then it's probably going to work with something that's approximately within spec of the old one.
Yeah. A lot of this does come. You see a lot of scaremongering online. They go, oh no, you've got to replace all the caps, otherwise it will explode, and then it will rape your wife and kill your family, and interfere with your dog in some sexual way. So replace all the caps immediately. Blah blah blah. Steady, dude.
I mean, just see what happens and see what it like again with the console here. Because I looked at the caps, and considering how many of them were leaking, it was just like, well, fuck them all out and do it once and for all. Given that half of them were leaking anyway.
Yeah.
Because so it's nicer to do it than one in all, do it in a big go rather than like every 2 days replacing another one that's broken.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's just that sometimes you get these machines come in and they've got such weird fucking sized or rated caps in them. You go, oh, you bastard. Really? 4,763 volt. You bastard. I don't carry them. I've got all of them special. You fuck.
But I mean, quite often the really over-spec ones are just so that they can take a higher reverse voltage. So it was just a lazy engineers like, if there's a reverse voltage, I don't have to care. I just put this big one in there.
Yeah. Yeah, but you often get that. Where you sometimes you get like these big fuck off caps in these things, and you check the service manual and you go, that's about 2,000 UF over, which according to the service manual, what the hell has the guy put in here?
Yeah, but then again, a capacitor of that age, that probably was like a plus 100 minus 50% tolerance anyway.
Yeah. Admittedly, if caps and definitely touts anyway, and voltage regulators, whether they're working or not, you swap them out in a P5. No argument. Doesn't matter how well it's working. Just swap those fuckers out because it's actually subjected to such a strain. Well, we've got to do is look at the heatsink on the back. And so, if it's still the original voltage regulators, definitely the caps and the tails out.
Well, I mean, they've had 30 years of nice heat in them.
Yeah.
I mean, for the capacitors, it might have been a bit too warm, but they will most likely be sort of fine. But yeah, for voltage regulators, they will have
The two big main
eating of them.
The two big main ones, yeah, they'll be fine. But the little ones and the little
that are not rated for the amount of heat. Yeah.
Yeah, and they got to go. But do the voltage regulators anyway, and put new heat paste on it as well while we're at it. Which actually is one of the main reasons I do take them out, so I can replace the heat paste, because it's just fucking bloody dried spunk on the back of them. Really, it's not doing anything, you know. So get it all out, clean it all up, put new regs in, new caps, and leave the two big ones, and you got stable profit. Well, they haven't come back, put it that way. So.
Wasn't that what they called Jesus? A stable prophet.
No, that's where he was born.
I'm here all week.
Yeah. Come back for more religious-based jokes.
Well, I thought it was funny.
It was funny.
For a microsecond.
Yeah.
But it's funnier if you make it out not to be. as a counter joke, you see. That's my excuse. I'm sticking to it.
They're laughing in the chat.
Yeah.
They're my audience.
Yeah, but they only came to see you after Mr. Wiggly's show had finished. See?
True.
We thought they were loyal, didn't we?
Yeah.
We thought they were loyal. We started the show, nobody to be seen.
Excuse me, I was in the chat quite early.
I was in the chat early, and then I had to fucking go out. Fuck's sake.
Oh, 12 points.
There's physical modeling there.
Carpenter strong.
But what I don't get, Rob, is why when you do the videos on the PSN, they're in mono.
So is this stereo for you?
Yeah.
So it's no different.
No, I know.
No, but isn't it the YouTube stuff that's embedded in that's in mono?
Yeah, but I'm on the show. I'm not doing.
He's on the show. He's listening to the same.
I'm listening to it as it's been streamed out, and it's always like, right there.
So also for the external sound sources, not because I only noticed it that when Robbie was doing YouTube playbacks, that they were in mono when his local synths were still in stereo.
Let me try something.
Run up a video now.
Well, I tell you what, I just want to see if there's.
Gentlemen, I'm going to bugger off to bed.
All right, darling.
Thank you. It's been a nice distraction from a shit week. I will catch up with you tomorrow night.
All right, mate.
Providing she doesn't fucking pull a second round.
No, let's not happen. No,
please no.
No.
Please no.
No
Right,
more.
listen.
All right,
Keep
buddy.
safe.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah,
too.
Andrew, bud.
Talk to you soon.
See you
Take
later.
care, sweetheart.
Night.
Love it.
Right, so tell me then. Let me just.
Captain Brave.
What a wanker.
No stereo.
Right. Is that stereo, mono?
Just give me a second, I'll put the meter up.
Sounded stereo.
Yeah, the stereo.
So that's stereo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, oh, maybe it's software stuff. Different, but no. This is just nothing changes. Literally, it's the same.
It's like, what is going on, man?
I mean, although to be annoying, your mic is slightly to the right. I mean, mine is as well, but I could probably fix this.
Let's say that's all the way to the right,
That's far right.
and that's
That's
left.
far left.
Yeah, so and that's slap bang in the middle. That's in the détente.
That is about 2 degrees to the right, but
So that must
who
be.
cares? Pan pod cabling, all that shit. Who cares?
1 2 1 2 1 2. How's that? How's that?
That is more central.
There you go. It's probably just the input then. So anyway, yeah, still. So that's stereo. That's hardware.
Very nice stereo.
Yep.
Well, I don't know what that is. Maybe we'll try it out again tomorrow.
Anybody have a door?
That's very
It's the
odd.
DX police.
That's for Taco Bell.
Oh, that plumbing shit.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. Let me just check your settings on here. Oh, come back. There we go. Audio. Stereo audio. Stereo. Yeah, everything's the same on your setup as it is to mine.
Mm-hmm.
So, very odd. Very odd.
So I don't know why the YouTube playback's mono.
So when you're on the show, are you hearing it in stereo? On
No,
PSN.
I'm hearing it monoed.
When you're on PSN.
Mm.
But here, it's stereo.
What you're playing is stereo, but you don't normally play keyboards.
During the
But
show.
but you played a video on here, I think, before now, but it came through monoed.
Right, so if I play a stereo video from YouTube on the show, that's coming through as mono.
It comes through, yeah. Very flat indeed. But there was times where you've done a video and it's played in stereo as well. But then you changed all your USBs round and it stopped doing it again. But whether that's got anything to do with the USBs or whether there was some change in some setting somewhere.
Should have a look in the audio. Scarlet USB input.
You guys keep talking about cable and you're going to trigger Ty to come in another rant.
Don't summon him.
Because I can hear that cable. I know I can hear it.
Resolve on a major.
No, I can't. Oh, hang on, what's this?
I heard that on a radio show. It sounds like I know what I'm talking about, doesn't it?
What resolving on a major, isn't it?
Resolve on a major.
Well, rather than resolving on a minor.
Which I normally do. Imagine
Which
get
is
arrested
no longer
for that.
allowed.
Yeah, no, it's naughty. No, mustn't do that.
Apparently no longer allowed in the BBC.
Hey, Kent, I saw an update in an email about Rolly something. It looked like the Seaboard 2. Did they release a new thing for it, like an update or something?
There's a new dashboard.
Dashboard, that's it.
There's a new dashboard out, yeah.
When's your seaboard coming?
Well, they said because it's been delayed a week, they've given me a £100 voucher to buy more sound sets for it for free. So, because it's going to be a week late. So, any time between now and the 22nd.
Well, I had an email from my friend at Expressive E the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently we should be prepared for some very exciting news in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
What? No, the Osmos can't come out this year. But I lose all the bets I've had.
I can't think what else he could be alluding to, so...
No, please, not this year.
Or maybe it's the news is going to be a release date for the
new Touche is coming out.
Yeah,
we will be releasing next year. Let me just call it up. Hang on.
I think it might.
They'll probably just trickle out. They probably won't have a whole bunch if they do release it this year.
Well, there's been a couple of hardware ones knocking about for at least 8 months.
Well, at the Synthplex, Jar had one in his studio while he was on camera live.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but which one was that? One of the original prototypes, one of the production prototypes, or one of the actual ones?
Yeah.
We don't know. I mean, they had like 2 or 3 of the original prototypes.
It was not too far from his Blipbox toy synth. Talk about a contrast.
I hope it's not the Osmos. I haven't got any money.
I know, they're going to force you to pay it now.
Oh, here we go. All right, so you're not going to show me. Or did I delete it? I was too incredulous to believe it, so I deleted it.
That's the problem with Kickstarter. They do auto withdrawal, basically. On the hard date, there you go. There goes that money.
Incoming.
Got a nice email from Dreadbox today that my Hades and Erebus fake kids are coming.
Oh, I tell you what did happen today. A geezer in Portugal sent a CS80 to us. He sent it so it doesn't require a signature, and it was supposed to turn up yesterday. So Fiona went and checked the tracking, and it says delivered.
Oh God.
Oops.
And we can't ask Royal Mail where it is. Apparently, we have to contact the sender, sorry, and ask them to contact the shipping company in their country of origin.
God.
So, but apparently nobody knows where this 80 is.
Oh, Jesus. It's not like you can lose it.
Well,
I mean, maybe some delivery person now has a nice synthesizer that doesn't quite work.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not like they're going to box it up, is it?
Well, just put a sheet of bubble wrap around it and throw it down your nearest post box, right?
Well, apparently it has been shipped. It's on casters and that's it. So it's going to be
on its own casters?
So in tune when it gets here. Because they've been riding that thing up and down the depot like a bloody hobby horse. Guarantee it.
Oh, I can't bloody find it now.
Speaking of waiting, I hope Manny doesn't have to wait as long as the Osmos to get his Op 6 back.
He's still waiting, isn't he?
Yep. That's ridiculous.
Get it back?
It came with a bum screen, so you had to send it out, and they've had it for like 3 or 4 months.
And they were knocking them out cheap. A whole bunch of them had dodgy screens.
That's what I'm looking about that used one.
What, they knew?
Fine. Probably.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I don't think they'll admit as much, but...
I think there would be legal complications if they were to admit it, even if it were true.
Well, it's just the knocking them out cheap bit that made me think, really?
Well, that makes it suspicious.
Yeah, just slightly. Yeah, but why is it taking all this time then to put proper screening?
Good question.
They were putting them out cheap because they knew they needed to replace the screens, but didn't have them in stock.
Yeah, it's probably still don't. So it's probably sitting on the shelf somewhere.
Oh, now you're saying 5 months. Jesus.
5.
Yeah. I forgot how long I've had my Op 6. It's been sitting around for a while.
So, yeah, the words here from my friend at Expressive E says that he would like to take this opportunity and tease some very big news for their flagship MPE synth in the next few weeks.
Well, 23 is in a few weeks. So.
And the news is, yes, we are still working on it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Almost certainly.
Oh, God damn it. And where am I going to put that?
Yeah, exactly. You got to go vertical, man.
Yeah, it's getting...
How are you going to play like with 4 C-boards and 1 Osmos? You're really running out of appendages.
Like an octopus.
Yeah.
Clever dick.
Well, when you see the wall of keyboards that Wakeman used to do, he handled it pretty well.
Yeah.
Back and forth, back and forth.
I should do some sort of demo video using 4 C-boards all at once, thinking, fuck you, Parisi. Check this out.
Yeah, that guy's amazing on the C-board.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching him going, almost. I can almost do that. Almost. Fucking hell. I don't know. I could do a Jordan Rudess, I suppose, just bang my head off them. Play loads of notes.
Yeah, but you also need to get a fake beard to do a Jordan Rudess, or just get a cheap Father Christmas beard.
I'll hang Noah off my chin. Let me his tail wagging.
So the Osmos that they've shown so far that has those kind of key extensions at the back, I think they're going to cover that up?
I would imagine so.
Well, that's the design feature.
Yeah.
I thought that's the design feature to show out.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
God, no.
You can really drop some prawns in between there, right?
Yeah. Get the whole bag in there. Because I think as it stands at the moment, the hardware one actually has some older engine in it at the moment. So it's basically a different synthesizer. It's just a different way of playing an old synthesizer at the moment. So hopefully they'll do something with the engine. Make it into a whole new keyboard, you know.
I mean, I don't see the issue with the engine. I mean, yeah, it's nearly 20 years old, or if not more, but it's an amazing engine.
Yeah, it's a wild engine.
That is just a real ass pain to program, and you need a lot of experience to get the most out of it.
Yeah.
But then again, for anything that you want 3-dimensional control, in the way it was intended on the Haken, your engine will require a lot of work to get the most out of it.
Yeah.
To match all the response curves. And yes, of course, that engine has all the functions internally. You can route everywhere. To completely tailor everything.
Yeah.
Well, that will be effort to program properly. And again, 20 years of presets won't work for it because they were intended for a completely different interface.
How many dimensions of control are we talking about with this Osmos?
All of them.
Well, it's supposed to be the 5, right? The MPE standard, or no?
5? Really?
What is velocity, polyaftertouch, wiggle, and anything else?
It's release,
velocity, yes.
pressure, slide, glide, well, whatever they want to call those in the Osmos, because they don't have the slide function. But
well, but wiggle per key, right?
Yeah, but the slide is the vertical movement in the key that actually morphs.
Oh, they have vertical.
So.
Yes, but it will be actual keys.
That's what's cool about the Silphio. You actually get 5 degrees on the Silphio with a little thumb pad and the rotation and the tilt and the all kinds of other stuff. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Although I have to admit, the most embarrassing motion is the axial motion, where basically you put it in and out of your mouth, which is very expressive but looks terrible.
Yeah, especially when you're doing vibrato.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
It doesn't look right. But damn, it's expressive.
God.
I mean, if you ever seen a classical player do it, when you think, well, we're bound to be good at fellatio. Clearly, that's an extra.
The trick is to do very short bits so people don't notice what you're doing, right? So.
Yeah, it's like they always say, isn't it? It's sort of like, you want a good hand job, go and talk to a cellist.
Doesn't the double bass player have more experience? They're like
not
more...
so much of the vibrato because of low notes. So.
Yeah. Yo-Yo Ma has lines out the block, right?
Well, it depends on the player, but clearly I listen more to like the sort of Eberhard Weber where there's nice vibrato. But then again, always talking to a woodwind player about tonguing, they will have the most experience. Or to be fair, also brass players. Double, triple, or quadruple tonguing.
Whoa.
We'll be waiting for Robbie to do or say something.
Sorry, I just saw a post that reminded me that Diamonds and Pearls, the Prince album's 30 years old.
Oh, don't say things like that. Fuck that, mate.
And who cares?
I do. Oh. Wow. 30 years. It's just, it's the worst bit about getting old, isn't it? Just remembering.
Who's Afraid of the Art of Noise is 38.
I know.
By the way.
Well,
where'd it go?
Led Zeppelin 4 is 50
fuck
years.
Did it all go? It's like 10 minutes ago I was playing Poly 6 and with a CE1 and a Prodigy. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, one of the first albums I remember buying was an ELO album back in the late 70s. I'm like, Jesus, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. I remember queuing up to get Out of the Blue.
Oh, yeah. Stuff's awesome.
Yeah. Jesus.
The Beatles did a good job fusing classical and rock, but I really love the ELO approach.
Yeah.
Which was inspired by the Beatles.
Sure, of course.
Yeah, well.
Jeff Lynne was, I mean...
Well, because they also took it out with them, and they had actual bandmates who were playing.
Yeah.
You know.
And then, of course, Jeff Lynne later on working with one Beatle a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We ended up working with all the remaining ones, didn't he? On Free as a Bird and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, I really like what he's done with Harrison in the later years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, waiting for the school holidays. Yeah, absolutely.
I was
five
talking to
weeks until school holidays was like, it's going to take forever.
Oh, no. I was talking to somebody about Howard Jones. We were sort of having a techie, nerdy discussion about his early rig, the one that he used to program himself in between every song.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, you know, the equipment he was using and how, you know, the evolution, you know, how we went from, you know, that sort of early setup to something, you know, that had multiple drumulators and all sorts of things.
Doesn't he still use a Prodigy now?
I don't think so, no. No, he's all custom built. His
with all the stuff that Robbie Bronneman did.
Yeah, it's all kind of custom built casing with just basically a controller in them.
I'm pretty sure there's some stuff on Sonic State, either that Robbie had shown, or maybe there was an actual tour they did.
He did a tour a short while ago, or say a short while, a few years ago, where he did put out his original rig. You know, so the DX7 on top of the Prophet T8, and then what did he have? He had a Juno, a Jupiter. What was the other one? Oh, the Pro One,
Howdy.
Did he have one or two Pro ones? I can't remember. But yeah, we were talking about it, and we're sort of reminiscing because we're both pretty much the same age, and we were both saying how much we loved him and how he was a big kind of impetus into getting into what we eventually got into. And then we go like, fuck me, that was 1983.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if we brought out Robbie's polygamist on stage. The Ekdal polygamist.
Mind you, his original Prodigy is in my garage.
Yes, you said.
Yeah.
Who are you
pull
talking
that
about?
out.
Hojo.
Am I allowed to ask? Howard Jones.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Jupiter 8, Juno, Prodigy, Pro 1. Yeah, it sort of becomes Howard Jones, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, hello everybody.
But
I'm just popping in brief.
We were talking about how
Popping in briefly.
like,
Hello, chatties. Can't be bothered typing.
we were talking about we found a video clip where he did Pearl in the Shell, and he fucked it up, so he had to finish it early. But you wouldn't know unless you really kind of knew the song inside out, and then
which everybody in the audience did.
Yeah, but there was. We were watching some clips of him in Japan. 84, I think it was. He's all the white boiler suit, and it's just incredible.
Oh yeah.
This one man on a stage with a whole bunch of technology that none of it communicated with everything else on the stage. Some bits communicated with other bits, and other bits communicated with others, and yet he was able to, on his own, without any backing tracks, without anything sitting off stage, put on a show with great songs, and still run around, jumping up and down and running across the stage with this, just hoping that, because if something went wrong and he was on the other side of the stage, you'd be screwed.
He had a hell of a hairstyle too.
Yeah,
He had a good hairstyle.
Well, I must say, and this will be unpopular, I know, but I really do wish he didn't do the mime on the stage with him.
Jed.
Yeah. Oh well. I used to watch them and think, I've no idea how you do that.
Yeah.
I couldn't work it out because at the time I'd got no idea about the 808 drum machine sending out triggers and rhythmical triggers to trigger the arpeggios in anything other than a diddle 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 sort of, and that's what it was doing, of course. And that's
he used the Pro 1 for a lot of that as well, didn't he?
The Juno and the Jupiter sequences definitely were triggered like that. So, and that's just from getting into modular that's become that's how
Well, that's what I always liked about the CR78, where you had the instrument outs on the back, and you could use an instrument as a trigger for, say, a filter to another synth. But even though it's turned down on the 78, it's still sent out the CV pulse.
Yeah.
That's what's great about Kabu. He uses all those keyboard drum machine tricks to this day.
I mean, it was also the same KR55 on the first Depeche Mode album. That was modified with the individual trigger out, rather than just having one, but you had to switch through. Obviously, all the individual outs then triggering 2600.
It was just fascinating, sort of watching all these clips that I remember seeing, the first time they were shown, and just marveling, like you say, Andy. How did he? At the time, I remember saying, how is he doing that? Is it all? Is there a computer somewhere that's doing all of this in the background? Not knowing, the ins and outs of CV Gate and certainly MIDI to a degree. And I was watching, and he was playing all of these, like the What Is Love bass line and other bits that were all DX7, and his DX7 is sat on top of his Prophet T8, but he's using the Prophet T8 because he's a piano player. So obviously the T8 had a much nicer keyboard that was more familiar to him, I guess, in terms of
weight. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing that's why he was using the T8, because there was very, very few points where he was actually playing the DX7's keyboard, but he was playing the DX7 sounds through the T8 a lot of the time. And watching him just changing programs, not just mid-song, but in between songs as well, and doing it so quickly. Because he was programming a lot of that stuff on the fly, because there was just, there was no storage. It was incredibly clever. And such a shame, because the other thing that me and this friend were talking about, and I said, will you hate me if I say that I didn't really like Howard Jones past, say, the third album at best? And he said, no, I feel exactly the same. He said, the first two albums, that's it. Because then he starts getting into proper productions and Series 3 Fairlights and all that kind of stuff. But still, what an inspiration that man is still. Yeah. Still going to this day. Bless him. But, so long ago.
Well, me and Fiona are going to go around the house in the attic and some of the sheds. We're going to make a list of equipment that I'm going to sell on. And I cannot be asked in doing top prices and all that bollocks. So it's just gear. It's sort of like, bye-bye.
Can you tell me when you're going to do that, and I'll turn up? I'll be at the front door going,
well, things like, I got the SQ10. I mean, I don't need an SQ10. Who needs an SQ10? There's somebody's going to need an SQ10. Strymon Blue Sky.
Clearly, just go to Peter and get it in for next Vimeo. It's like here, have a van full.
Yeah, it's all winding up now, isn't it? The
finished. Yeah.
Well, this one, yeah. So clearly, if you get it with him early, now when he does his van round, which I believe is sort of hinted that he might actually do it this time again.
Yeah.
They
tend to
take
sell
it
a
all
lot
back.
of stuff. Yeah, but they tend to sell a lot of stuff after the auction finishes.
Yes.
Once everything's settled down, they go, that's the price it's going to be. Is that Synclavier still on there?
That was sold on the first day.
Did it sell?
Was it?
Yeah. Can't remember but there was at least somebody who put a bid in like a few days before it.
Well, then it sold, yeah.
Because it was up for what? 2.9, wasn't it?
It's sold for the first bid, so 30.50.
Does it have an old Mac with it, or just the?
Yes, with a Mac 2 and the card.
They probably wanted the Mac.
There was a Series 3 Fairlight. I don't think that sold. That was going for about 11 and a half, I think.
11 and a half.
Which is not bad. I mean, it wasn't fully functional, but that's not.
I was going to say it seemed a little cheap.
It's not an awful price. But the DX1 that was 75,000, that didn't sell.
No.
What, to the surprise of fucking nobody?
Exactly.
massive surprise.
But there wasn't a huge amount on there that, well, certainly from my point of view, there wasn't. It was a bit of a damp squib.
What? You didn't get a V50?
No, I didn't. I was looking at it, and I was also looking at, there was Genesis's A3000.
Well, I assumed you'd go for that.
I thought, I thought about it, and there was another Genesis thing. I can't remember what it was now. But tell you what did surprise me, and I didn't bid on it because I thought it will just go silly. Was the 700S that went for 770 quid?
Yeah, it went for the first bid. And I regret not putting a first bid on that because it went to the first bid.
Me too.
700S is fucking brilliant.
I know.
It's
and I thought
brilliant. The sounds it makes for the few electronics it has in it is just outstanding.
Had the wife's car not ballsed up, I might have seriously considered, and I might have fucking won it. But, well, never mind.
Wait, what I was most surprised about the booklet keyboard that appeared at the end, just like, 980, reasonable starting price. I go for like maybe 1200. I don't think anybody would be stupid to go that high. 10.5 grand it sold for.
It's that Roland electric piano I was going to bid on. I forgot.
I think both of them went for.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Because the piano I wanted for the keys.
Well, I mean, nobody wants it for a piano sound.
Yeah, exactly. It was my eye was on those fucking keys, mate.
I think there was also a 700 keyboard.
There was, but it was like 1,900 quid. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, it was like
Yeah, just because it goes to a 700, mate, doesn't make no. You know, like no.
It was also akin to the DX1, where somebody trying to sell like a 700 base unit for more than the full 700 goes for. It's like some joker.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Wagyu talking about 800 dB. He's got one in the
Wagyu.
garage. Got an
Do you know
800 dB in the shed.
Do you know
I don't know
who it
who belongs
to?
No.
Can you put the feelers out? Because you gave Robbie a DX1. I'd cheerfully give that house room.
I'd happily give a Surge modular room temporarily.
Oh, it's gone back. It's gone back.
God.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we are shameful, aren't we? Sponging off Kent like that.
Well,
Kent.
Well, just put an E on the end. You got it.
You need the. You need the. Yeah. You need a. You need the room, Ken. You just buried under. Now we're doing you a service, mate. We're helping you out.
No, honestly, it is.
Well, Ken, before you bin the YC45, I will get rid of the bed or whatever to try and make it fit in here.
Look. If you want the YC45, it's yours.
Yes,
If you seriously want it, it's there.
Well, it's like it's one of those things. But if the alternative is going to a bin, then I'd rather because I don't know.
YC45.
Crazy horses.
It's a large organ.
Yeah.
It's the.
I thought they did that on an Odyssey.
No.
Ribbon controller on the organ, mate.
Actually, I think if it was one of the single manuals, but basically the same thing. Or the 45 is just it's the Cadillac. It's like everything. Do you want everything that the Yamaha organ division can do, and without the normal wood casings, rather than the combo version?
Yeah, this is the combo version. It's the grey one.
Well, yeah, it is like the pinnacle of Yamaha's analog organ.
Yeah.
Or well, the combo. Obviously, they're the ones that are basically
pedals and stand with it as well, I believe.
What?
Yeah.
But now I really need to get rid of the bed.
Sleep on the organ.
Don't.
Who misses?
I don't know. Has it got the pedal with it? Or has it? I really can't. I'll make the pedal might be the thing that was bust. Because the pedal is the expression pedal.
Oh, the one that sits inside.
Flat one.
The
swell.
Yeah.
The one that sits in the flap inside, but it's always connected.
Yeah, it's the swell pedal, isn't it?
Yeah, there's one. No, I think that's a sustain pedal, but the actual expression was like the one they have on the 80. That Yamaha said they were redoing, and it's nothing like the original one, unfortunately. Because here, this Yamaha, this is supposed to be the replacement expression pedal. Do you know what? I forget the number of this thing. Right, and that was like 200 and blah, blah, blah. But it's an opto pedal, yeah. And it's not as good as the old bloody plastic bucket one over there.
Those huge pedals on the Electones, those are funny.
What is actually superior to an opto pedal rather than just having direct control to the resistor?
Do you know what? Nothing.
Because
but it's the system, because it works on that 15 volt job.
Yeah. Because I'm totally happy with my like 50 quid dub for one, because like nice and fat for fat feet like mine, and
best expression pedal I've got here. No word of lie.
Thanks for repping the old sweatshirt again, Andy.
Are you getting pings? Are you getting things through already? Blimey!
Hours ago, mate.
Doesn't it get tedious? You've got no privacy in this world at all, have you? Well, actually, the thing is, what you don't realise, I've got my work clothes underneath. I've got a shirt and tie underneath all that. I realised I'd not got a change of clothes. I was thinking, oh, I'm glad that hoodie's on the car seat. Yeah. So I just took my tie off and just pulled the hoodie on over the top. So there you are. Yeah. Oh yeah, quite happy to do. That's why I bought it, because I got told off so severely for wearing the wrong hoodie. Or have you forgotten that? That was you. You're wearing the wrong hoodie, Andy.
Did I?
What? Yeah. What were you about? 'Cause it's not a PSN hoodie. So I then went through all the convoluted network of actually having to order one from Viper Graphics, which was not the easiest of processes. I have to be honest. You know, they could streamline that quite a bit, but anyway, we got there in the end. So Robbie's ready for bed. Look, the elbows for.
I found out something yesterday that I have an acquaintance on Facebook who owns a movement drum computer.
Good God.
Which one?
Both.
Oh.
I know. I was just like,
what? There's more than one of the first one?
Can I ask about this then, Robbie?
They sold two.
Have I? Ages ago, in one of the magazines. Shut up a second, Robert. Ages ago, in one of the magazines, it could have been electronics and music maker. It could have been music technology. It could have been sound on sound. It could have been keyboard magazine. There was something to do with Eurythmics. I think they were talking to Dave Stewart, and there was a picture of a thing, and it looked like a silver aluminium sort of case that had 8 almost sort of lozenge or hexagonal shaped pads and stuff.
that's the
That's the
MPC.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
the
an
one.
MPC, not as in MPC, but it was
The company was called NPC.
MPC Electronics.
MPC Electronics.
Little drum thingy. You
Yeah.
smack the fuck out of.
They were
Yeah,
like stretched hexagonal pads.
Yes,
weren't they?
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that was an MPC.
Yeah.
All right, well, I might pick your brain more about that, just because I was intrigued. I've never seen it ever anywhere else.
I remember
Said
seeing
MPC.
that back in whenever it was out in a magazine. Going, that's amazing.
What's the movement drum computer then?
Well, it was
Computers.
a computer-based rhythm machine, but it was British, and
I mean, it was used by Eurythmics on the second and third album.
yeah.
That's about the only claim to fame it has.
It's well, no, there's a bigger one. But if you watch Sweet Dreams video and he's kind of typing at that keyboard, that's a movement that he's allegedly typing.
I see,
on.
right.
Yeah.
But
By a
the-
bloody ton.
Yeah, and it was like had an independent monitor.
Yeah.
This thing like a typewriter. It looked, obviously it wasn't, but it looked that sort of thing. But the 2 was an orange. Was it fiberglass or plastic? I can't remember. But it was like an all-in-one
terminal.
computer. Yeah, it's like an all-in-one computer
Oh, wow.
terminal, sort of L-shaped, and with this keyboard at the front, and then the little screen to the left, the little cathode ray tube screen, black and green, or green on black. And then on the right, you had cards for each drum sounds, and these cards were like modulars. You could pop them out, and you could actually put custom chips in. Because unbeknownst to me at the time, but I found later on, was that Thompson twins, like Quickstep and Sidekick and Into the Gap, were all Movement Computer 2 drums, but they used custom chips. So they weren't all standard sounds, and it was an absolute dog. You know, it would wouldn't work a lot of the time, but
Yeah. There's a lot of flying leads inside that.
yeah,
No, but
You know, afterthought was.
But it's like the only reason that Eurythmics used that is because that's what they could afford and did the thing they wanted it to do.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
what was it like? First album was only done on an 8-track recorder. It's just hard to imagine that.
It's a brilliant album. The first 2 Eurythmics albums. Are
I mean, the first album that was of course Connie Plank. I mean, in the Garden. I mean, that is a completely different thing from like what when Sweet Dreams and Touch were. Yeah.
Hang on a minute. So yeah, In the Garden's the first one, isn't it? Yeah, and
Yeah.
Touch was the third one.
Yeah.
You see, I loved those 3 albums, and after that, I just lost interest. I didn't think they were very interesting at all. There was one
Well,
called was there an album called Savage that was just
Savage is quite fun. Revenge is also quite nice.
just they weren't synthy enough. That was the problem. I'd gone off them because
They
they
got
were
more rocky, hadn't they?
They just became more. Yeah, the guitars came out. I thought, okay, well, fair enough.
They'd done
that
Simple Minds.
That just became a Synclavier act.
They'd done what Simple Minds did. Had gone from edgy new wave electronics to stadium rock.
Yeah.
What, so like Depeche, or...
Well, Depeche Mode were less.
It was good
obvious.
stadium filling rock, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Come on, you've had Mick McNeil on your show twice.
Yeah, but
They were pretty
Simple
good.
Minds. Yeah, but when he left, I think Simple Minds.
They all
don't think they lost something very. He was incredibly special.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to say this as well. I think the Depeche Mode and Alan Wilder. Personally, I think Alan Wilder was the best thing to happen to Depeche Mode.
It's a popular
Really,
opinion,
and when he left, there was a major hole.
Excuse
I
me,
mean, I was wondering.
A Broken Frame is quite good. Come on.
And Ultra is a very good album.
Alan Wilder was in the
started
background
after,
of that.
No, he started on the tour of Broken Frame.
He toured it. Yeah. It is. It's not bad, but it done half get better when he. Anyway, Depeche Mode. Anyway, I'm going to get another beer. I'm going to drink it quickly before I go to bed.
I'm just trying to find. Here we go. Here we go.
What you found?
I've found some. So this is the guy. I've known him online. For a long while, because he's a Fairlight owner as well. He's got a heck of a collection.
Yeah.
But he somebody there was Soundmit in Turin last weekend. They got was it that Elka drum program where they drop the cards in on the right hand side? Is it Elka?
Eco computer.
That's it, Eco. Yeah. And he commented on something, and they said, "Oh yeah, next year you must bring your movement." You've got
Not a good opening.
I just overheard that. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Which particular movement?
Yes. Right.
How's your movement now?
You've got a movement.
Hey, check out the one I posted. Brett wanted up the AHB. I've never seen that one before.
Just looking
Impulse
at that now.
one.
That's it. That's the one I'm talking about. I think
What's that one?
the AHB Impulse one. That's it.
No. The one you're talking about is
No,
this.
that was. Oh, the what? Right, let's stick it in there. Go on.
Hang on. No, I'll go one better. I can stick this.
Here we go.
You know you can stick that.
Stick it. You stick it, Rob.
And it was the last time it was been working.
Stick
Stick
it.
it in dry.
Stick it wherever you want, steamy and sticky, however you like it.
This is the one that you were thinking about.
Oh yeah, I've seen a picture of that before.
That's
no,
the
it
MPC.
isn't. Yeah, no,
No?
it isn't. No, it isn't. The one.
Well, that's
it's
exactly
actually-
how you described it.
Yeah, it is. I'm getting confused. But the one that silver one that looks like an IntelliGel case.
Right.
He said in ret. I always thought that with the IntelliGel cases, they reminded me of this. No, that's the one that I'm talking about, and I could never find any information. So now I know. So thank you. It was whoever's posted that. That's the one. I got in mind.
Brett
But
found it. I put it up there for him.
Right.
And that's
thank
that's
you.
The, that's
yeah,
the
thank you,
movement
Brett.
too.
And that
Yeah.
I've never seen
That's
that
the
before.
movement.
What do we have? A 360A.
Yeah, look. I mean, just look in the background. Yeah.
A 2.2 and a 2.3.
Here's a
and a
2.2,
PRK.
2.3 P. And he's
That's
I've
also
also
seen
have
the
a
video
two-
and he's typing away on that thing. It's hilarious.
There's a CS
both
there
wave
as well,
terms
isn't
in there. Yeah.
What's that, an SX3
that's
to the right, or what's that, a CS to the right?
It's a heck of a collection he's got.
Might be a CS30L to the right.
I think that's a 30L.
Look, you're supposed to be looking at this big orange thing in the middle here.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had one of them here. I'm not interested.
And each one of those, as you can see,
Been there, done that.
is its own little, sample board with one drum sound on.
Yeah.
She's pretty amazeballs. And then I was just trying to find the picture of his first movement.
Said TL626.
Oh, there was on the bottom
What's like in
right-hand
the bin there? What look like? What's?
Oh, he's killed himself again.
Oh,
Le Robbie est mort.
he was so excited he just poofed.
He's right again.
corner. I'm back.
He's back.
I'm back,
Ah,
yeah.
il est retourné.
Wrong button.
Mais oui.
Happens all the time.
Where is that fucker?
Where
He
is
had
the
a pic.
fucker?
He had a picture where he got. Facebook search is so shit, isn't it?
Facebook is shit in general.
Well, yeah.
Enjoy it while you can.
I mean, unlike Twitter, it's not bankrupt yet.
Just go into the meta avatar area and just play in 3D. That's the most fun. Yeah.
Oh, it's so much fun. All the adverts are
So
trying to push
stupid.
for it.
You can play basketball with somebody.
What does racism in 3D look like?
Well, they do have mods in there that kind of keep it clean, but it's just so stupid and boring.
What, like
in there.
Facebook?
Well, no, they're pretty. I watched a guy do a live stream where he tried to cause trouble in there once, and they really clamped down on him. So
Well, yes, because it's only 5 people using it, so it's easy to moderate with 5 people.
there were quite a few, but it was just sad. There's like an area you do stand-up comedy, you wait your turn to get on a stage, and it's mostly kids on there just don't know how to tell a joke. It's just
Oh
stupid.
dear.
Yeah.
But like, if you think about it, VR chat, it's like thousands of users, or maybe tens of thousands, but it's still there's not the interest that Facebook could make money out of it, and even then, everybody who's in VR
Well, they
chat
spent
just
billions
laughs
on
at
it. They
Facebook.
wasted billions of dollars on it. It looks like Nintendo Mii's. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks as terrible as most VR chats, and when you have VR chats which look even more amazing.
Instead of calling it something like Second Life, you should call it Get a Life because it's really pathetic. Just.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Here we go. Here we go. Right. Boom.
Holy moly.
What is it? Is that like all that were ever made?
Yeah, that's pretty much like all of them. But yeah, 3 movement 2s and the movement 1.
What's that all of them that are still alive or were alive? What's that in like Richard's garden, Kent? Or
Is this
No, I do know this photo, but it's not mine.
pre or post Lindrum?
technically post?
Why have they bothered?
Well, the thing I found about the movement
British.
was that
But wasn't it also a bit of like Simmons sort of style analog stuff in there?
yeah. Because the thing I found about the movement after repairing one is they're very aptly named.
BM.
Very aptly named.
That's the one you were talking about, Andy.
Yep. Interesting thing, isn't it? I bet those pads are bloody rock hard, aren't
Yeah.
they? Make your wrists
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah.
Like it can't be as nice as the Simmons ones, of like the SCS5 pads. Of,
It's like hitting pieces of concrete, hitting Simmons and things, aren't they?
no, polycarbonate, same as the CD or riot fields, and it is
Nice.
like
Riot shield.
no,
Get this riot shield, kid.
it is a 2mm riot shield attached to 36 mils of ply.
That's our special January 6th drum machine. So.
Well, I mean, if you've had a go at hitting against riot shields, they are quite tough and annoying.
Yeah.
January this.
How often have you thrown yourself against a riot shield, Rob? Just out of interest, so that you could realise just how tough and annoying they are.
I think
just wondered if you
technically once, but it was over. But it was during that time. There was plenty of time to go around with it, but it technically was only really one day. I spent some time trying to destroy it because I was pissed off with it.
Oh, you mean the Simmons?
No, the riot shield. Again, it wasn't on demonstrations. It was more to do with the theatre.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right.
So
You can get away with everything in the theatre, can't you? Oh, it was in the theatre, darling.
Oh God, it's
Right.
7 minutes past midnight, which means I've got to work on a Maplin 3600 today.
I feel sorry for you. Have you considered to burn it down for insurance?
Is that like a
Mate.
Paya, like the kit system?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
similar,
yeah,
except
yeah.
it's very badly built.
And they
No,
never
so's a
worked
Paya.
anyway.
So-
Yeah, and it was like all
Or
the
Heathkit.
components were the cheapest option, should we say?
Talking about Paya, Kent, have you ever had like one of the programmable drum machines from Paya? That were like made in the mid 70s. That Peter Gabriel used on the third album quite a lot.
Oh, he did. I didn't know he used Paya stuff.
Yeah, that was like
don't-
before the Lindrum. That was his drum machine.
Wow.
No, I don't think so. I don't.
Did he have a gnome as
No.
well?
When
Paya
no.
gnome. Little monosynth, I think. So
I don't. I think it was what was the keyboarder Larry Fast. He introduced him to it because Peter Gabriel was always wanted a drum machine you could program, and Larry Fast said like, "Where's the thing where I can do it?" and immediately got it.
wow.
But yeah, on the third album, if you hear some drum machine, I mean, Games Without Frontiers has the nice fake stuff, and Biko is full of it.
Okay, yeah.
It sounds a bit like a CS78, but
Oh, look at that.
that's a Siemens hex pad, but that's only 1 mil polycarbonate
Wow.
rather than a normal 2 mil, and that's Wolfgang rebuilding his.
They'd be easier to hit if they were laying flat.
No, that's a picture of when Wolfgang
Maybe.
replaced all the foam, because obviously the original vintage foam has disintegrated into nothing.
Yeah.
So back to that movement then real quick. So you program with the ASCII keys basically. So there's no way to do the velocity or whatever. You'd have to kind of program it in after the fact.
But there's no real-time interface. I thought it's just a sequencer that you need to
Sequencer,
program
right,
in.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the in a way, like what Roger Lynn original Lindrum was, a computer program that connected to a board with EEPROMs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And technically, also for the drumulator, there was a Apple II software that you could connect to it.
Boy, that's great.
That
The laser
would,
company also had an Apple II based system a long time ago.
or I say that technically there was maybe it was never made, but there is mention of it. That it allegedly used to exist in Apple II software that you could program on screen your drumulator. Who knows whether EMU ever made it, or whether it was a Digital Drums thing that never happened.
Sorry.
Anyway,
I remember seeing that Eurythmics video. I thought, as a kid, I thought he was just typing on an old computer. I didn't know that was a drum machine.
I don't think anybody wouldn't, unless you know exactly what thing you don't know. It's a drum machine.
I mean, would you see them in stores, or were they just super rare?
Oh, no.
No,
They ever had a commercial venture, was it?
I think they were
That was
in
like a lot of
magazines
British stuff
mentioned.
back then, wasn't it? It was all sort of
Well,
backdoor stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, but the legendary Thundershout didn't.
Yeah. I think Sound on Sound did an article on the movement, or at least movement 2, I should say. And then there would be a telephone number at the bottom of the
Yeah.
page. And that was literally their advertising, as it were.
Wow.
I think there was a colour, one-page colour that they did in Sound
Buller
on Sound of
supplement.
it.
Yeah, the bowler.
Yeah.
What a silly bunt.
Yeah.
Still gets me every time.
Yeah. Oh, hello.
Oh yeah, what a silly bud.
It was so great too, because on public television they played Monty Python for years, and we all knew what they were saying, obviously, but that was their way to swear and get away with it, right? So,
Yeah.
Can we say hello to Simon Greatbatch, who's just arrived? on
Hello,
the chat?
Simon Greatbatch.
Hello.
He was playing his second Derby EMOM tonight. It was cool to see him there. It was a really good night, actually. It was really, really good night. Loads of great acts. Just I mean, the one that Jim's mentioned before, that actually really, I was like, wow, they absolutely fantastic. Project Empty Head, they're called, and it's these two, let's say, getting beyond middle-aged blokes. One has got a sort of like a hollow body bass, and one's got this hollow body guitar, and he'd got an get ready for this, Kent, an MPC X on top of his ultimate support stand, and underneath that was a Matrix Brute. I mean, talking about people doing the minimalist approach, they went maximalist at an EMOM. You know, the biggest MPC you can find and the biggest mono synth ever made, not counting modular systems. Right? It was just, but it was brilliant. They were so good, and it was like a combination of dancey beats and prog. So it was like, I suppose, Osric Tentacles-ish style, but without the hippie shit. It was just great. It was really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed them. Really enjoyed them. So
what's in Simon's rig?
Simon, what's in your rig? He had an MPC. He had an MPC live and a keyboard that was doing stuff.
Did you not go for the Phantom this time?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't bring the Phantom. No, it was. I think he realised that actually it's quite hard work bringing a sort of 73 keyboard.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Well, yeah. So
you found out the odd way.
Well, clearly, the one in Kent's Garden would be easy. Kent would just get the CS80 down there.
Yeah. Just got a trolley, roll it in,
push it out the window.
Yeah, I finally posted my little EMOM thing. You got to see the video synth guy in there. He did really great work. That LZH video stuff is really cool.
This guy was on after us. Myself and Brawny, the guy who does who promotes the Sheffield EMOM, we left at 10 o'clock. I said 10 o'clock's my cut off. We have to go. So I didn't see these guys. Where are you getting all these pictures from? Where are they all coming from? Didn't see this fella either. That's Ty Unwin, moonlighting. I saw him there. Yeah, no, didn't. Yeah, that's Honey Badger. This could definitely be a gibbon or a baboon or some other ape, right? Honey Badger. I don't know who he is. Right, get him off. Right. Hiya, Jim.
That's the bloke drunk all my
this
coffee.
guy's just stop a second. This guy absolutely basically inspired. Sorry about that. He's inspired by sort of the Swedish band Covenant. But he has a really operatic voice. He could have done with some reverb and stuff on it, and got his equipment sounds up a bit. But it was like industrial. So it was like Frontline Assembly meets opera. It was ace, and it was just slightly crazy bonkers, but such a lot of fun. Really enjoyed listening to that guy. Dog Explosion. Oh, there they are. That's nice. That's Project MT. Look at that. It's like status quo. We've discovered what synthesizers are. And they were great. They were really, really great. Really enjoyed them. Oh, there's Night Passenger and the Panda. Oh, Prog Ambient. That's Brawny. That's the guy who promotes the Sheffield EMOM. Can't remember his name. Steve, I think.
Steve Hardacre.
Yeah, Steve Hardacre. Sort of housey, techno-y sort of set. Really quite nice stuff. Oh, there you go. That's Painters Radio. Yeah, that's Dave Walker or
what,
Mo.
Graham? You mean Graham?
No. Graham what?
Yeah, Graham. Yeah. Kept calling him Graham.
The other Graham.
Oh, the other Graham.
Eh?
That's Simon. There's Simon
I'm ready to go to the bathroom. I need to
doing
take
his bit.
Load off.
Oh, it's an EMU keyboard. Oh, right. I kept that one quiet.
Me always once a day. Supposed to do more than once a day, but
Some random.
Get him off.
Yes.
There he is. Some low.
Time. Actually,
Some low laugh. Look at him. Look at his work shirt on. Look at that. And his hair's getting grey and thinning. That's no good. Greg. Can't remember what name he goes under. Obish. That's right. Yeah, just using an Octatrack. And
that's it.
A nice picture of the Yorkshire
Peak District.
The Peak District. That's the Peak District. Yeah, very nice.
There you go.
Wicked. Marvellous. All in all.
We cover it all here.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that. It was nice to see the guys. Yeah. Oh, Yeah, all guys, no gals. That's very noticeable.
Yeah.
Actually, very noticeable. No female performers tonight. We need to do something about that. Well, what can we do? You can't just drag women off the street and say, play this, can you?
Can you?
Robbie.
Mind you, I still get customers even now, getting clients phoning up and, and very surprised to have a woman answering the phone and say, and what's wrong with your synth? What year did it come out? Is it SMT? And I'm going, oh, it's a woman talking about something that I know.
Well, it's like when I can't remember if they said it on when they were on the show. When Math and Tara were on the show, and they're sat in the studio, and Math has no input to the musical side of things at all, and yet when they're sat in the control room, the producer's turning around to Matt and saying, yeah, what do you think? And it's like, this is all Tara. He said, speak to her. She's,
yeah.
They just assume.
Yeah.
It's a bit embarrassing when that happens, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
Hey, Brooks, you had a girl with a guitar at something, right? Did she ever show up again?
Oh, she's Sheffield. Yeah, she was at Synthfest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was one of the 3 acts alongside Martin Christie that they had on at the Synthfest EMOM presentation. Karen O'Donnell, her name is, and she plays folk songs, essentially folk music, on a guitar. She's basically a folk musician.
That's funny.
She's basically a folk musician. She plays all sorts of instruments, and she's involved in the folk music scene, but she likes electronics. So she'd been using it, and she realised that the turning up at a folk night doing that wouldn't go down well, which is a shame, because that's the sort of purism that spoils things. But so she does it. She plays these sort of jigs and whirls and reels and whatever on a hornpipes on a. She's got the Elasis guitar attached to a JU-06. It's fab. It's so simple. I'm just going to play, and she's off, and she's great. I mean, proper folk synth shredding, if that's a thing.
That's cool.
Is now.
Isn't it? Is now.
Yeah. And she's great, she does a thing, and she always goes down a storm, which is why, I'm glad when Martin Christie was putting the people together for the EMOM presentation, that he got 2 youngish women on, deliberately, because I think he'd been told it has to be inclusive, that's part of the thing, which is right. So when I found out, representing Sheffield, I've asked Karen, Andy, because Martin, because I said, I'd love to do it. Yeah, Sheffield modular, Synthfest, come on, makes sense. And he went, I've asked Karen O'Donnell, really, for Sheffield. I went, fine, absolutely brilliant. Understand completely why you've done that. That makes perfect sense to me too. So no issue with that. I thought it was a really great choice, and because she's fab. So if anybody gets a chance to come to an EMOM, I think she's going to be at the next Sheffield one. I hope so. Because she's definitely it's worth hearing. And so you can hear her on the Sound on Sound video of it that was that Jamie did. That's been. I think that's been put up, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's on the channel.
Robbie, is that it?
Yeah, it's on the Sound channel.
Yeah, I thought it was, because I'm sure I'd seen it.
Well, we're definitely going to do one next year.
In the garden?
In the garden. Open up the workshop wide, and there's your stage. All the power and lighting.
Excellent.
We're going to invite the neighbours as well, because
you have to, because
they're not going to get to sleep, are they?
Because they're going to be there anyway.
Yeah.
Whether they want to be or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know a date at some point early, and I'll
likewise.
And I'll get a PA down there.
Yeah, get it all sorted out.
Oh God, you have to be very careful with that sort of thing in a domestic garden, don't you?
Damn, I have to get a plane ticket out there.
Do you know what? My garden is anything but domestic.
Yeah, but your next door neighbours isn't, right?
If we invite them in, they'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be all cool. One night in God knows however many years. Kent wants to go to a gig, and if Kent can't go to a gig, he's got to bring the gig to Kent. It's like Mohammed,
Kent does
isn't it?
a gig, yeah.
Yeah. If Mohammed can't go to the mountain will. Well, Kent, if the gig will come to Kent, and we will happily oblige you there, Swonker.
No problem. We reckon we can house 50 or 60 people, no problem.
We'll need to get hands along as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah, he's always bleeding busy.
Get him to play a set.
Yeah, tell him he's not going to be busy that night. He's got a booking in his schedule already that he will fulfil.
Might even get old boy George down if we can get him out of the jungle alive.
Oh, it'd just be fun. Oh, yeah, I just think doing something like that. Yeah. Do I get an invite?
I'd like to get Ulrich Schnauz down.
Ulrich Schnauz?
Yeah.
Is he still recording or performing? Was he?
The last I heard, he was a member of Tangerine Dream, wasn't he? I think it was
Is he now?
Not that guy off the side. Is that the other guy? Looks like a younger guy.
The guy on the other side. Well,
yeah, he's a youngish guy. Yeah.
There's Torsten Quashing, isn't there?
Quashing. Yeah.
There's the Asian violin player
in
the middle.
She's still there.
And then the guy on the other side, I don't know his name. It's a tall, lanky guy.
One of them should be Ulrich Schnauz.
Really? I didn't know that was him.
I
Did he have long hair?
his early...
I thought he had long hair or something.
I think he did at one point, but it was a long time ago.
Okay.
But I was really pissed off with him when I said, because I said, well, when are you going to do some more albums? Oh, no, I'm doing all this now. No, you can do some of your albums. Do another Stars 2. God's sake.
No, he seems to be left, and it's now Paul Frick. Or Paul Frick, or whatever.
Oh, maybe he's moved on and stuff. I'll phone him. I'll phone him, see what he's doing. Go, what are you doing next June? You busy?
June, late July, August is easy for chumps like me because I'm on holiday.
Yeah, well, that's it.
But you can't dictate around me. I can't.
Well, what we can do is try and get it so it appeases the most people in one lump.
Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, we don't have silly German Sunday laws, do we? But
well, Sundays start up the Mustang Day, so they're used to that. They're used to that. So,
what's a Sunday law? I'm not familiar with that one.
Well, I've got a really great story, right? I mean, in Frankfurt, right? I had left Dusseldorf and I was intending to take over a flat in Frankfurt from a friend who was returning to England. And of course, I've been there a while, and of course, you didn't have masses and masses of clothes, so you have to wash things. Washing machine. So there's me, done me washing, out on the balcony, hanging me socks and me pants and me t-shirts and all these things on a clothes horse on the balcony of this flat, and the balcony was onto an internal courtyard.
And the neighbours complained?
No problem, right? And 20 minutes later, there's a knock on the door. Oh, go and get it, Andy. Yeah, all right, that was Sean. Go and get it. So I go open the door, and there's this bloody big German green-clad policeman, gun at his side, white. I'm thinking,
papers?
Yeah, where your papers?
Oh, honestly, and I was like, yeah, well, yes.
Thought you were lucky,
hello.
James,
Can I help? Well, he'd certainly come to the right flat with me and Sean. We'd have been, oh, hello, do come in. Oh, we've just got the kettle on. We can make. Oh, Sean, come on. No.
Are you sure you were in the right Frankfurt? Are you sure you were in the West German, not in the East German Frankfurt?
I was definitely. It was definitely
green
Frankfurt on mine.
Oh, suits you.
It was.
It was not Frankfurt under.
It was Sachsenhausen. You know, it was in Frankfurt am Main, and how can I help? He said, yeah, we've had a complaint. I said, oh, really? What? I said, you've had a complaint? Yeah. I said, we're not making any noise. We're not doing it. And he went, you've been hanging your washing out.
Oh, really?
I just stood there and I went, well, yeah, it needs. I've just washed it. It needs to dry, doesn't it? You can't put wet t-shirts and pants on that. It'd be silly. So it's going. You're not allowed to do that. It's against the law. I said,
like an old-fashioned works of the Lord law or something like that.
Yeah, it's Sunday regulations that you shall not work on a Sunday.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, are you serious? I said, just please. I said, officer, just stop a second. Please forgive, stupid Englishman, new to Frankfurt. Never ever. I said, honestly, I don't know. I mean, washing. It's not offending anybody. Well, I mean,
okay, it was somebody offending somebody.
Clearly,
Did you tell
honestly,
him cleanliness is next to godliness?
So I just said to him, I said, I'm sorry. Come on, I promise. I had no idea. And Sean then comes up. At the time, Sean his German was way more mine, and he just went, I've lived here for 6 years, and I've been hanging my pants out on a Sunday for 6 bleeding years. So why is that old biddy complaining now? And off it went. And he just said, stop. And I'd said to him, I mean, you've got something better to do with your time than worry about why I'm hanging my pants and socks out on a Sunday. And he's going, well, actually, but we have to. If it's a complaint, we have to come and sort. I went, okay, officer, I promise we won't do it again. We'll do it on a Saturday. That will be fine. The lunacy of the world. Seriously, don't go out on the street and wash your car on a Sunday.
How about after midnight?
Blimey.
That's technically Sunday, so is that also bad?
Meanwhile,
that will count.
Meanwhile, later on at the station, he goes, yes, and then I told him that he couldn't hang his washing out on a Sunday. It's absolutely hilarious.
Wow. Yeah, honestly, you couldn't. But it's real. Those things like you can't wash your car, you can't do this, you can't do the other. I think it might well be in the intervening years that some of these have gone.
Man, a lot of it has gone, but
yeah,
and a lot of those and a lot of those morons have also just died. Who would complain about that?
Well, yes, probably, but.
But
that
I wouldn't have
definitely
expected.
Happened.
It's not what I've expected in Frankfurt.
It's mixed. It's more mixed, though, isn't it, than the parts in terms of the Catholic Protestant sort of thing. So, but anyway,
because the Jews on Saturday, the true Sabbath that they have, you can't do any works other than the Lord's works.
The proper backwards Judaism.
Well, yeah, my relatives that went to Worldwide Church of God, which is a weird Catholic Old Testament type thing, kind of sort. They also did the same thing with Saturdays. We visited them, and they couldn't watch TV. They couldn't do anything that wasn't relating to the church in some way or another.
Unless there's an emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently Elvis Presley's neighbors, some of them were Jews, and he was actually the mensch who would come over and do things for them when they couldn't touch light bulbs and they couldn't fix things and stuff like that. He would actually help them.
Yeah, I've heard this.
Yeah.
On that religious note, I'm sorry, I must go to bed now. So it's been nice popping in and chatting, and just letting me chill for a bit before I and have 2 beers before I jump into bed. So take care, folks. I'll see you at PSN tomorrow, of course.
Indeed.
Who's on tomorrow, Rob?
Kim Bjorn.
Oh, right, the Bukes guy.
Bukes guy.
Bjorks.
Bjorks.
Is it not Bjorn?
Kim Bjorn. Bjorn.
Well,
Right, anyway, take care, folks. I'm going to jump into bed. So try.
See ya.
See ya. Bye.
Captain Bridge.
That.
What a wanker.
What a wanker.
I think I might.
So the German thing has been how long? Just like decades and decades and decades, or?
I mean, it's probably some historic Prussian law that still existed.
Wow.
That has survived the Weimar Constitution, and then afterwards the Constitution of the 50s as well. Oh, well, that was just the Weimar Constitution with stuff added to it, but there's lots of shit still in there that hasn't been dealt with.
I mean, even Hitler put up with that stuff. They had to do stuff on Sundays, right? So
no, they just got rid of the Constitution
and
replaced it with their own.
Yeah.
But then West Germany that was founded went back to the Constitution of the Weimar Republic.
Right,
but obviously that in turn went back to the original Prussian constitution from the. I mean, technically that went back to the 18th century, but obviously when Prussia created Germany by invading every neighboring duchy and kingdom, that then, well, the concept of Germany, that imperial Prussian constitution then became a new thing in the 19th century as well.
Right.
But there's lots of hilarity still in there that you think, what, this really does still exist?
Well, we have some crazy ass laws on our books here, so I don't even go into that.
But like again, you can still be arrested for being drunk on a horse. There's nothing talking about, I think bicycles were added like 10 years ago maybe, but the horse still existed from the 19th century. Because apparently that was a problem in Prussia. Before drunk driving, being drunk on a horse, riding around drunk was enough of an issue when it existed in the 19th century as a law.
Wow.
Makes sense.
But then again, in the UK, there's just no constitution written down.
I mean, it's different than being drunk on a bike because you're controlling the bike. The horse still has a little bit of autonomy.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume it means you haven't gotten the horse drunk. I mean, then I would be worried. You haven't, like, given them the old cherries that you made the red wine out of. That have been half.
A horse making faces into a shop window. Come on in. I'll fight you. You look just like me. Yeah, well, I think, but most countries have weird and wonderful, uncontested laws, don't they? Mind you, in America, you got that thing where you can have different laws from county to county.
And state to state, and it's the whole thing. States' rights are very important here, so they...
Well, again, in Germany, the whole state, that comes on top of that you have all the states doing their own thing.
This is the whole Roe v. Wade thing, where they're getting rid of abortion at the Supreme Court level, but all the states are still fighting for their own rights to do it.
All the joys of federalism. It just makes everything a mess.
And the guys who are against it the most are the guys who are knocking up all the co-eds and getting abortions secretly, so... There you go.
Herschel Walker.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Trump, all those guys. I mean, just endless.
What I thought Trump just pays. Obviously, he
goes
have money
to prostitutes and to porn stars and pays them off, and then gets outed. Nobody cares, but
it was one of the first things he admitted. Eventually,
he always was that way. But this was supposed to be during his presidency or just before it, and whatever. It's just, what are you gonna do?
And on that note, I'm going to bed. So I will see you all tomorrow.
Trump is the new Godwin's law. He basically shuts everything down.
I'll see you all tomorrow, bright and early.
I'll go call it a night as well, because, like I say, got a massively stupid busy day tomorrow.
Thanks.
Today, again.
Have fun with that Maplin thing, and try not to burn it down intentionally.
I got to try and read the schematics. This thing is drawn in crayon by a 4-year-old.
And then what was it sold with wire wrap around?
Yeah, let's just say it's not the choicest build
or,
I've ever come
across. Or other circuit boards, pieces of modern art.
I'll tell you what, it's really easy to lift the tracks on. But you see, the thing is, the 4600 I got is the original prototype one, so it's all breadboard, and that one I've just abandoned. It's like, you open it up to have a look and it breaks it. It's just like, nah.
So that's the true piece of modern art.
Yeah, and that's probably the best thing for it. Stand it in the garden on some bricks. Right then.
Yep. See you later.
See you all
later today.
Tomorrow. Yeah. We'll be talking about reissue minis.
Yep.
And why.
And lovely synth books.
And lovely synth books.
And audio Anima Omega.
Yes, that's on the list.
bit masking and other fun stuff.
That's on the list. Yeah.
Trying not to get copyright strikes.
Oh no, I won't be showing any lists on the airs videos.
Are you going to mention that there's news from Expressive E about there might be news?
No.
soon?
No.
Exclusive to this show.
Yeah.
To this show.
It's been announced that there will be news.
Yeah, it's hardly news, is it? But there might be news.
There might be news, yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
All right, dears.
See you all later.
Everybody
stuff,
take
guys.
care and look after yourselves.
You too.
Take care.
See you later. Bye.